even know what's like. I don't know. I woke up like 10 times this morning at various times. Like woke up at 2:30, thinking it was like, all right, time to get up. Like, when that.
But you worked today, right?
Yeah, half day.
Oh, okay.
There was no way I'm like, if I don't take some, because like I knew like dealing with all this stuff, and I'm like, I gotta get this taken care of, and I don't, because like if I kept the rental car, it was gonna be like $50 a day with like because I had to do the damage waiver, and I still, so I'm like, I'm just gonna, because like knowing how cars are, I'm like, and just like the bank is only open in this period, the car place, the rental car place only until this place. Car lots are open super late because they want your money.
Time of the day.
Like I was there, and this one of the guys was like agreed to meet a dude there at 2 a.m. because that was the only time the guy.
I will take your money.
He's like, I work the late shift. I don't get off work till midnight. It's like I'll come back here. I'll open this up at 2 o'clock. The guy's like, okay.
Because you know how much money they make each time they sell a car?
So much money.
A lot of money.
Can you
imagine having to do that job?
Oh my God.
I couldn't do it.
No.
I could not do it.
But then like your whole life, like if you don't sell that car, like your kids aren't eating this week.
I mean,
like,
it just gives me sweats just thinking about having to do that job.
But there are other people that like thrive on that.
Yeah.
Like think about Jeff.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if
because like when you do make money, it's so much money.
Yeah. But then if not, I mean, just think of the stress and the pressure.
Yeah. Hello, YouTube.
Hey, we're talking about cars
and selling. I could never be a car salesman because you have to do shady things.
You saw Cadillac Man, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like you have to do shady things.
The best thing in that is when he's at like he passes a funeral and sells a car to the lady at the funeral.
What was that? There was a documentary about the used car guys. What was that called? It was so good because it was about the guys that do like the crazy sales. You know when they have those like crazy like we're giving away a free car. So that's like they hire an outside salesman to come and run those sales.
Okay.
And so it followed these guys around just doing all the crazy gimmick sales and just following them around the country.
Funny.
It was nuts. Oh, what was that documentary? Because you would love it. Because you know that I think that you know that it was like Ken Hong and those other guys, the used car movie, I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I never saw
basically they basically ripped off this documentary.
Okay.
Man, what was it called? Sure. No. What fee? It's just add that?
Yeah.
Used car documentary fee isn't even a thing.
Well, it meant documentation fee.
Slasher.
Okay.
Dude, is
it on Netflix or something?
I don't know, but it's John Landis made it.
Huh.
It's crazy.
All right, I'll check that out.
Yeah, because he's like this. He's master of the slasher sale, and they do like those crazy gimmick used car sales, and it's really cool. I think you would really enjoy it.
Right up my alley.
Yeah,
John Landis. That's crazy.
It was a really big documentary because so I'm surprised because it was like one of the big ones that year. Like like not like the serious not like Oz, but like it's like in the vein of like Winnebago Man and like those kind of documentaries, like the kind that we like. Yeah.
So Janelle and I would have been like just married. No. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I definitely either rented it or watched it on Netflix or something. It's really good. You would definitely dig it.
All right. Let's check it out. I'm sure it's on something that I have.
Yeah.
You see the thing about like the Star Trek show that CBS is going to put it like behind their...
They announced that from the very beginning.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they said that they're going to show the first episode. First taste is free, and then it's behind.
And the rest you have to
it's on the CBS thing. Yeah.
If it doesn't do well, they're going to say it's because no one wants a Star Trek TV show.
This is the Yahoo. This is the whole like. Yeah, I don't know. It could be bad because who's going to sign up for that?
No, because
old people.
Star
Trek fans are that nuts.
Yeah, but like.
Didn't work
for just out of principle. Like,
oh, I'm not doing it.
Like, no way. And eventually, it'll be out somewhere else.
It'll probably be like a huge delay.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna feed into their little.
No, the fragmentation of streaming services is what's halting. I feel like it's halting progress.
Yeah, like all around.
And like it needs. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like the world would be such a better place if they just get it together and do the all one price.
Yeah.
Give me that all one price. I would pay like $40-$50 a month if it was everything.
See, I'm okay. Like, okay, Hulu I got for like, new run stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. Netflix has got all the back catalog. A lot of their originals are totally worth it. They've made it worth it just for their originals alone.
Yeah.
And then Amazon, because you got all the other perks of Amazon, I feel is totally worth it.
Oh yeah. But beyond that, I'm done.
That's right. And Amazon probably has like the least amount of stuff that I watch.
But they have the other stuff, and they keep on adding stuff.
So it's like,
have you heard they're talking about doing a Prime like housekeeper service?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean I would totally do that.
Like a discounted housekeeper service, or you get like one free every few months as part of your Prime.
If these other things had like,
and then they're. We're good. And then the whole like they're gonna be doing like drone deliveries and all that crazy stuff.
So for me, it's worth a third one because they have everything else. But I feel like if it was just their streaming, I don't know if I would do it.
No,
probably
not.
But it's totally worth it.
But some of those Amazon shows are really good, and they got more stuff.
So for me, that's a total package. It's totally worth it. But other than that, like I don't need anything else. I'm good.
Did you know that Norman Lear I totally forgot that they're doing this?
What?
They did a new One Day at a Time, and it's 13 episodes, and it's going to be on Netflix in January.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I didn't know Norman Lear was even alive still.
Dude, he was on He Made It Weird with Pete Holmes and Judd Apatow, and it's like the greatest that
really?
He's because he's 94, and it's like him and Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner are like somehow found the secret, and they're still completely like he's still hilarious.
Well,
like,
I mean, I don't know what it is.
And like talking about like it must because those guys are still all like just completely on the ball.
Are we getting Spaceballs the sequel? Is that really happening?
I don't know.
It's been dangled out there.
Who knows? I thought Mel Brooks was working on something else now.
They keep dangling the Spaceballs.
But also, like, I don't know. Like, again, talk about people that aren't, who knows?
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. I mean, all those, Sid Caesar is still alive.
Yeah.
They still go visit him.
That whole group, yeah.
That whole group is all still alive.
They all did like a pact.
They must have done something.
Back on your show of shows or whatever.
I don't know, man. But those guys are all super, like, because like Sid Caesar's over 100.
Yeah. And they're still all like,
and he like taught Reiner and Brooks. Like, without Sid Caesar, there is no Reiner and Brooks, and then without no Reiner and Brooks, there is no comedy. Like, I mean, like modern comedy. Like,
yep.
But they're all still kicking around, and who knows what's gonna? Oh man.
See, that's what I'm saying. Any way you look at it.
Gosh, you lost Gene Wilder this year.
Yeah.
The memoriam section at the Oscars is going to be like 30 minutes long, and it's going to be the most depressing one ever.
Yeah.
Except who knows who they're going to ignore this year. Well, still mad that they ignored. Oh, gosh.
Oh, I spelled Jones's wrong.
They ignored, because I remember they ignored Taylor Negron, and I'm like, I was so upset about that. And then that history, when on this day, popped that message on my wall, and it was so, like, I don't know, it was really great. I'm like, oh, Taylor Negron said that, and he meant it. And it was like, I don't know, it just really made me happy. He was so cool. I went back and listened to that Bagged and Boarded. He's so funny. Like, he talked about, like, he was a PA for Lucille Ball.
That's crazy.
And then he was like living with Robin Williams. Like, they basically got discovered together. And then he lived in that crazy house behind the Comedy Store, which has all kinds of crazy stories. Yeah. Like, I don't know, just crazy stories. Because like he was around with like everybody. I mean, you think about all the movies he was in, all the people he worked with. Like,
my favorite of his will always be Young Doctors in Love, personally.
Yeah.
But he's with
I don't know, dude. Though. Better Off Dead.
Yeah. I mean,
with a kid like you doing with like this.
He's great in everything.
I mean, Fast Times.
Yeah.
He's the best part of Biodome by far.
Okay, yeah. Even better than the Baldwin. Which Baldwin was it?
That was Steven, I think.
One of those.
Billy.
I don't know. One of the bald ones.
I think it was
one
Steven.
of the not Alec ones.
I think it was Steven.
Yeah.
I feel like it was definitely Steven, who is now like, oh my gosh. You seem like the Baldwins got in this huge fight.
No.
Because Steven's backed Trump, and he's like, and he got mad about Alec playing Trump. It's like, our father would be like, man. And then like Billy got in and was like, our father would think you're a total idiot. And then I'm like, look at what's happening. The Baldwins are fighting.
Stop it, America. Look what you've done to the Baldwins.
You've done to the Baldwins. It's like South Park, the movie, and blow up the Baldwins.
What's bad about being a Baldwin?
Nothing. Oh, dude. Man, we should. I know we should, but like even South Park, I feel like they had to like change their whole episode, and I think at the end they were just like, like the title of the episode was OGs, like, and they were just kind of like, here's some I don't know, they were not ready.
Also, I don't know if you saw like the Stephen Colbert special, like it's really funny watching that.
Like, oh my gosh,
spiral, like you can tell he's like, oh, like this is not the stuff we had planned. Like I didn't know what to do.
John Oliver this week just
oh my gosh,
rampage.
I probably should put it on there, but I watched a bunch because after I watched his thing, I watched a ton of his stuff.
He's
late night,
pretty amazing.
I love his like expose thing.
Yeah.
He does,
oh, dude,
like, that fake church he set up and the Church of the Perpetual.
The church is amazing.
What was it? Oh my gosh,
that was like one of the first things I saw. Like, yeah.
His show is great.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, should we do this here?
Yeah, we definitely should because it's 9:00. I guess. Timer? Oh wait, I didn't do anything. I didn't. It's been a whirlwind, man. Whirlwind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's the holidays, and it just doesn't. From starting next week, it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
So you have work all the way through till Wednesday, right?
No.
Oh, you're off.
I'm off the whole week.
Okay.
And then I have 2 weeks off at Christmas.
It's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody at school is already just like countdown mode.
Oh, well, Janelle has parent-teacher conferences this week. So
and we had ours like last week.
That's like.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's
it's been going well, but that's always a stressful week.
Yeah.
And then she always has to be there late, and then people don't show up. And so far, no one's like gotten upset. Like it's been going really well.
I witnessed some teacher meltdowns due to conference related.
Conferences can be brutal, but so far it's all been going good. It's just long schedule. So like when you texted me today, she was like still in school.
I listened to one conference where it became obvious that a parent was not aware of the horrible things their kid was doing, and I'm like, this kid isn't so much. This kid is so screwed. Yeah. Like I felt like I'm like, this kid is horrible, but I feel bad for him right now because this parent obviously somehow had absolutely no idea. It was like Christmas Story, like what? Like I could just hear the mom, and she's not. And at first I'm like, oh, she's yelling at the teacher. I'm like, oh no. She's yelling at the kid. And I'm like, oh, this kid is so screwed. Like, this kid is so screwed.
Yeah, it can be a really brutal time on all parties, depending on the situation.
Because I also heard situations of parents screaming at teachers, parents obviously not caring about, or no-shows, like complete no-shows.
Janelle's only had one so far on the first day, but she had 9 scheduled today. That's the thing, too, because they have... a short schedule, so like you got to cram them in there.
Yeah, it was crazy because like then they have to use like other rooms, and I'm trying to like do stuff, and then I got to leave because they're doing a conference and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, conference, like going to another conference.
Yeah, it's that time of the year.
But yeah, I don't know.
Do you still have Do you still have Splatoon?
Yeah, dude.
I need to play.
I want to buy it, but it's like not cheap.
No. Never is.
But I think I'm gonna buy it anyways because it's awesome.
Did you get the new Animal Crossing stuff yet?
No, I've been playing Splatoon. I don't have time. This is why I don't even need any Nintendo right now. I don't even know what I would play it. I haven't even played a freaking WWE game in like over a week.
The new Animal Crossing stuff is awesome.
And then I got this new game on like one of the free PlayStation games. It's like one of those like, it's like what's the worm? Bookworm. You know, where you like the words and there's like the worm.
Okay.
Except it's like a new one and it's like super awesome.
That's cool.
And you know how much I love the word games.
Oh yeah. And you were like huge on the typing one for a long time too, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
That was just like typing. Like,
I thought it was like, wasn't it like typing of the dead?
Oh, I did that. Yeah.
It was like, I thought you were into that.
Yeah, but this one, dude, I'm so good at it, and it's because it's like, you know, it's kind of like Boggle, and you gotta try to find. I did like a 9. I did like, well, this one seems to be a little bit strict.
They actually make you spell real words.
Yeah.
You're freaking a DS.
Oh, dude, the DS Boggle where everybody had to vote if like approved.
I'm like, Janelle, stop voting for his words. I don't know. I thought maybe it was a word. It's not a word. Stop it.
That was always the best.
Yeah.
Like, all right, judge time, and then mine would just keep popping up for like the next 10 minutes. For the next 10 minutes, and eventually somebody would vote for mine, and that's how I won every time. Brendan came up with 85 words.
How did you get 85? Oh, that's how. LLPQ. It's not even
it shouldn't let you do that.
They're just assuming someone will not actually.
Why have that feature?
Well, it's a way to get around if there's like something they missed in their dictionary. But man,
they missed a lot of things.
A lot of words.
Quiddibo.
What's the Seinfeld one? Is quone. Quone. It's a medical term.
Oh, but Yenta's the all-time best.
Still to this day.
Even when you've heard it in other things?
No, I believe it now.
They've said it on the Goldbergs like 20 times.
I'm completely aware it's real. I just still can't believe I was wrong about that because I'm like, no, that is a made-up Brendan word. That is no way you're blah, 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 Yenta. I'm not giving you credit for that.
Was that Boggle or Scrabble?
It was Boggle. Because it was like a really long word.
Oh, yeah. It was
that's Y-E-N-T-A. That's it's 5 words, which is good in Boggle.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not a word.
Dude, I've been on this word one. Dude, I got like a 9 letter the other day. I got martyred.
Whoa.
I got some big words, man. Yeah, dude. I crush at those games. I used to read the freaking dictionary. You know those picture dictionaries? Yeah. I was obsessed with those. I would just sit there and read them. Like the other day, they had one at school, like the first grader dictionary. I just sat there and started. It was like nostalgia trip. I'm like, oh man, I would just read the freaking definitions and like it had just enough pictures to keep you interested. And I would read the whole thing.
Oh my god,
I'd read the dictionary. I cannot believe that. I'm such a little dork.
That's a lot of us though, because I didn't do it when I was little. But my friend and I would go in the library and read dictionary at lunch.
Oh, you did your thing where you
looked up like crazy words and then interview people to see if they knew what they meant.
Yeah, I just read the dictionary, and then my uncle had gotten me like a kid encyclopedia set.
Yeah,
and I read through those.
What were those? Because we had a set of those. Like I don't know if it's the same.
It was like a kid one,
like World
something. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
but my uncle got them for like my 3rd birthday.
World books.
Well, there's world books. These were like a little bit younger than that.
Okay.
These skewed.
Okay.
Because like these were like, but they were awesome because it's like have these cool articles, but they were like super like kids.
I would read through those things.
Oh yeah, and then I had like just like fact books. My favorite book was this book called Who Were They? And it would like have just like it would go through like fictional characters, historical characters, had just like and like some of the fictional ones had like pictures that would like scare me. Like I remember there was a picture, it was like who was Sherlock Holmes, and there was a picture from like Hound of the Baskervilles, and it was like I was like it's scary, but it was like that like scared where I'm like I'm so scared. Oh, but I'm like gonna look at it. Yeah,
totally. Like walking past the horror section of the video store. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Horror section at the video store.
I think we all did that
in the 80s. Oh, everybody did.
But what is on the cover?
That's part of the like appeal for people of our generation that are still obsessed with VHS tapes.
Right. Because that box art, man.
And then just like browsing things, but that does not exist anymore.
Nope.
So I want to go to that video store.
It does exist, but it's harder to come by.
But even the DVD covers, it doesn't feel the same.
Those VHS tapes, especially
the horror ones with like the box art that was clearly not taken from the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they were just like some random guy took the title and made this something 10 times more horrifying than anything in the movie. Because then when you got older and you'd go and watch those movies, you're like, this sucks.
Oh yeah.
Or like,
well, especially like any like old B movies, like older ones,
yeah,
where they look like terrifying, and you're like, I can't believe I was ever scared of this.
Man, I just remember like Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I think, where it's like the snake Freddy swallowing like Bridget Nielsen. I remember I don't think I've ever even watched that whole thing, but just that picture on the back of the box gave me freaking nightmares.
Which one had the claw coming out of the toilet?
I think that was like 2.
Because I feel like that
just
was
all those Nightmare on Elm Street boxes where you'd look at them.
But I know that image well.
I remember there was one where it was like these kids that looked all like weird, and this girl had like really puffy cheeks. And I was like, what the frick is that? But I was obviously, they're never going to rent that.
Oh, no.
But like, then I'm like in your mind, like you just, God.
Again, it's probably like way worse than imagining.
Oh, yeah. Like anything, like everything, like Hitchcock and those guys really knew what they were doing, because your brain will come up with 10 times more scarier stuff.
Absolutely.
Than anybody could show.
Psycho being a great example.
Psycho. And then like Kubrick did it too.
Yeah.
Because I remember my video film teacher, he would show us like, I think there's like a fight scene in Spartacus, and like where like he like would show like reviews where people were like, the whip, because I think it's like a torture scene or something, was like really brutal, and then he'd show us the scene, and you never see it cuts away. Everything is cut away.
Yeah, you imagine
everything.
It, though,
but like you look at same thing with Psycho.
Yeah.
He would show us reviews, and then we'd watch the scenes. He's like, yeah, those, because you hear people describing things that don't exist in the movie.
You never see a knife pierce someone. You never see. You see this. You see that. You do see blood running down the drain, but that's it.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Brilliant. Are you ready?
We're ready. As ready as I'm gonna be. Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
And man, what a week.
Yeah. All over the place.
Had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, sideways.
Upside down?
Everything.
Yeah.
Man.
Upside down.
Upside down.
We're getting more Stranger Things.
They're obviously doing stuff because they're like working on it, and they won't tell anybody anything.
Can't wait.
I can't wait. 11's back.
Yeah.
I think Barb's gone.
Poor Barb.
But then they said there's a new teaser. There was like a news report, and it talked about like
mentions Barb.
Mentions Barb. But I think that's all. She's obviously dead.
Yeah, but we could have like an Obi-Wan Kenobi ghost type of situation.
Ghost Barb.
I would be okay with Ghost Barb.
Everybody wants Ghost Barb. I think we need to let that go.
Come on, we gotta have some more Barb.
I don't know. I mean, what are they gonna? They already also they announced Paul Reiser, so they got some other 80s.
Oh, and then who else?
It's Paul Reiser and somebody else.
Someone else really cool.
Somebody
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin.
Yeah.
So we're getting more 80s.
Oh, dude, that's fantastic.
Icons. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Paul Reiser. All I gotta say is Paul Reiser better be a bad guy, because bad guy Paul Reiser, like Aliens, Paul Reiser.
That's the best Paul Reiser.
That's the best Paul Reiser. None of this Mad About You Paul Reiser show. I mean, he's funny.
Yeah.
But I want
he's funny
bad,
as a bad guy,
because like they need, if anybody can top like what was the guy, Matthew Modine, like as far as like bad guy, like Paul Reiser, I think might be able to do it.
Yeah,
and so we'll see what happens. That's exciting. What's been up with you?
Well, we had a 4-day weekend this weekend.
Yeah, we both had 4-day weekends. I did basically nothing because I was having panic attacks about my whole car situation and the pending. Because oh my gosh, I had like this. Oh freaking! I just forgot about a whole other thing I had to deal with regarding the car.
What's that?
Was on Friday. I'm like, a lot of places are open on Veterans Day,
right?
So I had it off. So I'm like, because I hadn't heard from the insurance people. I kept calling them. They sent me a quote on my car. So I think I already talked about how they went from saying I was getting $15,000 to, that was a mistake. You're getting $4,100. I'm like, that's what I had already planned on getting, because that's on the high end of Blue Book on my car.
Right.
So I'm like, whatever, fine. I'm not even gonna deal with it. I met with a lawyer. He's like, you're pretty much like whatever.
He's a cool guy though, right?
He was very cool. And then I hadn't been hearing back on him because they're like, your rental is gonna be up Friday, and I'm like, I haven't even turned in any paperwork. I haven't gotten any money. So I call, and the actual claim person, it's going straight to voicemail. I try to get a hold of a boss. That's going to voicemail. So I call like their basic number, get an operator, talk to a person. They met me through to another person, and I had a complete meltdown. But while being cool, but I'm like, look, like I'm screwed here. I need you to help me. And finally, I got somebody. He's like, I'm gonna help you. And he's like, he's got the money transferred, but it wasn't going to go through till today. Okay. But if I hadn't done that on Friday, who knows when I would have gotten my money?
Did they extend the rental car, obviously, then?
To Monday. Because they legally only have to, he could have not extended it because he's like, legally, once we send you the money, regardless of if you've received it or not, we don't have to.
So they send it to you on a holiday weekend? Dude, that would be like the
well, that's where he... Because he's like, I can't approve it, but I'm going to talk to my boss. And he talked to his boss, and he got it approved. But I'm like,
that's a bad loophole,
dude. If they had not, so I was like ready to like, I'm like, I have an attorney, and if you don't do this, I am gonna have him call you. And I think that was fine because I was just trying. I'm like, oh my god, dude. Like, I'm like, here's my situation. You guys, I'm 100% not at fault. Just put yourself in my shoes. I like 2 weeks ago, I had a working vehicle. Now I don't. I'm on a fixed income, man. And like, either way, I'm screwed. I'm going to have to. And he's like, I understand. Like, it's a really horrible situation. I'm sorry. And I'm like, and your person's been incommunicado. I've emailed 3 other people trying to figure out how to get these forms signed, what I need to fill out, because they sent me the wrong freaking form.
Yeah, didn't they send it twice wrong?
Twice wrong. And then also, here's another crazy thing. Like, so apparently in California, the lien holder, even when you like pay off your car, they can leave their name on the freaking title as the lien holder, even though you paid it off. So they're like, your registration is still showing these people as your lien holder. And I'm like, I paid off the car. What are you talking about? So then we called, this guy stayed on the phone with me. He called the lien holder. And they're like, oh yeah, we don't have to take our name off of it. And they're like, but why would you if the car's paid off? It's like, yeah, we don't want to have to deal with that. You're supposed to go to the DMV. I'm like, nobody, and there's nothing that said that. What? I paid off the car. I have the title. So then the guy's like, okay, this guy says that you're paid off. That's good enough for me. We're going to keep going ahead. And I was like, this guy's an all-star. And like, so just dealing with all this freaking bull crap.
And again, like their client hit your car while drunk and ran away from the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
And this is where you're at now.
And I'm like on a Friday, my day off on Friday, I spent like 2 hours on the phone with all these freaking, and they were trying to get me. They're like, okay, well, we need to take the title to the yard, and it's in Vallejo. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Do you know where Vallejo's like in the freaking Central California, dude? Like,
they took your car there?
Yeah.
Why did they take your car there?
I have no idea.
So you never got the rest of your stuff out.
No, I don't have my CDs, man.
Are you never gonna be able to get it?
I don't think so. I think those CDs are gone, man.
No way.
I'm really pissed off.
There's that demo in there.
Which one?
That band, that local band.
Well,
get that demo back.
Gone now. Dude, you know what else is gone?
What?
Paul Hipp made a CD for Malcolm McDowell. Malcolm McDowell didn't want it, so Malcolm McDowell gave me that CD.
Well, you can't like get in touch with them to get your stuff out?
I don't want to deal with those jerks anymore, man.
They could at least clean out your stuff.
Oh, my car is probably a cube right now.
But maybe not.
I'll call
Why did they tow it up there?
I don't know.
That doesn't even make sense.
Nothing about this makes sense, Phil.
Oh my gosh. Vallejo?
Yeah.
Isn't that up? That's up like
Bay Area.
That's crazy.
I know.
Why would they have towed? That's hundreds of miles.
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Maybe the guy got it wrong, but that's what he was showing on his computer. And that's where I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of that. I'm sending you this thing in the FedEx. That's where this transaction is over. Once again, I'm the victim here.
Right.
If it was this drunk lady, yeah, make her drive to Vallejo. Why don't we call that lady and make her drive to Vallejo?
She should get it for you.
My thing. Like, you should go get my CDs.
She shouldn't be driving anywhere.
She should.
But she should have her friend drive her.
Holy crap, dude. This is just a freaking nightmare of things that happen. So I finally got my car. So I get all that sorted out. And then I'm like, and so then the whole weekend, I'm like, I'm gonna have to go in and I'm gonna get my credit, and I know my credit sucks, and I'm gonna end up with a number purple neon, man, and like I'm screwed. I might as well just not ever do anything. I'm gonna just crawl into my bed, and hey, at least weed is legal now, and smoke up, Johnny.
But you powered through.
I powered through.
And what happened?
I have a car. I am the proud owner of a 2014 Prius that I have dubbed Brendo 5 because it's alive.
Brendo 5 is alive.
This car is going to break the trend of horrible things happening to my vehicles.
Yeah. So you got the car.
So I got the money. I went to the bank. So first I went to the bank, and that seemed like great because I'm like, so I sit there while they're doing the application and I'm waiting for the approval. I'm like, this is not going to go well. They're going to end up being like, get out of here. We're not giving you anything. Or again, here you have $3,000 because I only get $3,100 and I get the rest when the paperwork goes through.
Right.
So I was just going to save the rest for a rainy day or make another couple car payments, which I think that's what I'm going to do now. So I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. Freaking. So I'm at the bank and I'm waiting for my rejection to come, and he's like, I got good news. You got approved for $20,000 car loan at this rate, 7%, which isn't the greatest, but my last car loan was like way higher percentage. And I was, again, like, I got my freaking barrel of a gun to my head. So
you had to do what you had to do.
I had to do it. So this time I'm like, all right, well, I wasn't planning on making car payments, but I don't want to deal with another purple neon.
Right.
And
you're going to immediately be fixing
this is a chance. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take this, and they're like, look, we have, because I'm like, can I do the auto land thing? They're like, yeah, but you probably won't get your car for another few days because it's not like immediate. And like, because they have like they'll do all the work for you and just bring the car to the credit union. You don't have to deal with an actual dealer. Cool. But I just didn't have the time. And they're like, look, take this. Here's a letter of like, here's your approval. Take it to any car dealership. So I go to the car dealership. I walk out, and this guy comes out, and it's all going great. And I'm like, I need the most dependable car you have. And like, I have this much money. Can I get a because I'm thinking like, because first I was thinking like Yaris, then I'm thinking like, ooh, Camry. But now I'm like, I think I can get a Prius for this much amount of money. Probably not a new one, but definitely a used one.
Sure.
And so the one bummer is, he's like, actually, we have a hybrid Camry that has super low mileage, but we're doing a special, and like but they had let somebody borrow it. And he's like, if you have 2 days, if they have to bring it back in 2 days, like, and I'm like, I don't have to have, like, it sounded like an amazing deal. Maybe it was just a lie. I don't know. Who knows what that was?
Made it sound like an amazing
but
deal.
I was like, oh,
how can they let someone borrow it?
I think it was like where like it's like their cars they have a whole thing where like you get your car service there and they give you a loaner car.
Oh, okay.
And the loaner car by law has to be comparable to your car.
Okay.
So they have to have like every kind of loaner car. So because like that's why I got that Sonata, because I had to get a Sonata for my rental, and the only Sonatas they had are 2016. So they're like, here you go.
All right.
Like because like these other people were getting like these beater rental cars, and then I got my 2016 Sonata, and yeah. Well, anyway, so this guy, and he shows me the two used Priuses that they have.
Pre-I,
I don't know. And one of them was like a fancier one, but it was like right at like 20,000.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that, because after like taxes, I'm gonna be like, so I'm like, I can't. So then the other one was like a few $1,000s less, and it $54,000 mileage, which is really low.
Great. And
for
Toyota?
It's a 2015. It's a Prius.
You got 300,000 more miles at least.
Yeah. And so and then I take it for a test drive. It's great. He even like pairs my phone to it, shows me like just like using the phone and like hands free. And so I've never had that. And was listening to The Blaze with Lizzie and Kat, and he's like, what is this? And I'm like, it's a podcast about Beverly Hills 90210. He's like, I remember that show. These girls are really funny. Like, so then we were kind of listening to it. Audience. I don't know. And because at first he was like, what is this? Like, because he expected, because he's like, we could just play your music, your phone music. And he's like, so he just hits play, and he's like, I think he's expecting like music to play, and instead it's like Lizzie and Kat talking about Brenda dolls. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, it was pretty funny. And So everything is going great. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm going to get a Prius. And then we get inside and he's like, all right, well, here's, in order, if you want this car today, we just need some additional information because like, even though I have a credit approval, I could still be some rando and run off with their car.
Right.
And so like, they have to have some little bit of like guarantees and all my information. And so I'm like, all right. And I'm like, but you're not like, I already have my loan. You're not doing another loan thing. They're like, no, like it's all cool. And then I guess he went back there and talked to his boss and I don't know what transpired, but because I'm like, well, then he comes back and he's like, and then like some other guy comes out and he's like, so I am the financing guy. And what kind of car were you looking at today? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I already picked my car. What are you doing? And I kind of like started flipping out a little bit. And then I'm like, so then he's like, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. So I'm like, oh, what's happening here? What are they doing? And then the guys, so then like another guy, so then he comes back and he's like, well, you know, Brent, I have an exciting opportunity for you. And that's where I lose it. And I'm like, I get up and I'm like, I don't want any tricks, and I don't need I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me to do a loan through you guys. I already have my loan. I don't want it. I just want a car, man. I don't need any of this. And he's like, and the guy's like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Like, whoa. And he's like, relax. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to screw you over or anything. Like he looked genuinely like, oh God, because like I could see he's like, I'm losing. He just watched his sale.
He just lost
like
the sale.
He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Let me go get my supervisor. I'll be right back. Let me go get you some water. And he comes back with like 2 bottles of water, and his supervisor's like, Brendan, I need you to just relax. For 1 second, my name is he like says his name in it, and he's like calming me down. He's like, look, I know you have your loan, and I know you don't want another loan, but what is your interest rate? And I'm like, I don't even know. I know it's at least 7. And he's like, well, I looked it up. It's 7.7%. That's really high. And I'm like, actually, my last car percentage was way higher because I have terrible credit. And at this point, I already have my loan. So I'm just going to tell you, my credit sucks. So I don't think you guys, so whatever you guys are trying to do right now, you need to stop and you need to sell me my car for this. And then I'm out, or I'm walking right now. And I will. I have my car. I got out my. I could see my car, and I actually like did the clicker thing. And I'm like, I'm leaving. And he's like, Brendan, I need you to sit down because your credit's not bad. Here's your credit score. My credit score is 675. I have no idea how that happened. I also think there's multiple. Isn't there different kinds?
More than one.
So whichever one they're going is, I know I have a bad one.
Hey, maybe they just really wanted you to get the car.
I don't know, man, because he showed me a number 675, and that, you know, there's different credit tiers.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's gotten tier 1 credit.
That's higher than we have.
I got tier 2 credit at a freaking major auto dealership, and that kind of blew my brain. So I'm like, all right, I'm listening. And he's like, I will give you this. They're offering 7.7. I'll give you 4.9. And I was like, you are a golden god, and I'm sorry I freaked out. Let's talk. And I'm like, and I'm like, okay, that, but what about the terms? Like, you must have fudged with the terms or something. And he's like, no, because it's in my best interest to offer you, because now I get the interest instead of the bank getting the interest.
Right.
And also, you seem like I understand your situation. You're here. You don't want to be here.
You told them about like,
yeah. They knew my whole my car got totaled by a drunk lady. I didn't want to buy a new car. I was hoping to ride that Hyundai for at least another 5 years. Right. I had at least another 100,000 miles on that baby.
Yeah.
And like I was gonna drive that thing into the dirt. And so he's like, I understand that. You picked a very sensible car. I can tell you're not trying to get, like, if you were trying to, like, I don't know if this is BS, but he's like, he massaged it a little bit.
Whispering.
Yeah. He's like, this is a very sensible car. I know you're a public servant, and you're on a very fixed income, and I know I respect that, and I'm not trying to pressure you, but this will save you thousands of dollars. And I'm like, I am just trying to save you money. If you want to take this, take it. If you don't, fine. I strongly recommend don't take your, because he's like, if you take your bank, you're going to be paying more money. Right. I won't do that to you. So I'm like, and I looked at the terms of it's exactly the same amount of payments, way less money. And he threw in some other stuff.
some car washes out
got
of
some
it.
car washes, got some oil changes, and like he gave me, I got a discount on like this maintenance thing, and I basically, because I'm like, here's the other thing, like, since I've had my car stolen, destroyed, and all this stuff, and insurance companies always find a way around these things, I need to cover every single base.
Right.
So yes, I'm going to end up paying a little bit more, but for the peace of mind, I've got every freaking scenario covered.
Tornado?
Everything. Anything happens to this car, regardless of if it was my fault or not, it is covered for at least, because the warranty on the parts, I bumped it up so it's 100,000 miles, 7 years. Everything, not just the electronics, which the base warranty is just the electronics. Right. This is everything. If this transmission goes out, I'm covered. If the freaking engine dies, I'm covered. If it gets stolen, it's covered. If I crash by myself into a telephone pole, my insurance rates are going to go up, but I am covered.
And you got a Prius.
And I got a Prius, and it gets 40 miles to the gallon without even me really doing anything. None of the special, because there's certain ways you can drive a Prius and get like crazy gas mileage. Right. But like just doing normal stuff I got like 40 miles to the gallon. Awesome. It's freaking sweet. And it's like basically brand new. It was a commercial vehicle before, so like not a normal like driver. Like, right. So like, yeah.
Dude, well, and again, welcome to the Toyota family. Like, you will be driving that for forever. A long time.
How much longer would you guys have driven your Corolla if it hadn't gotten?
Oh, dude, when we got it, when it was totaled, it was only like I want to say it was like 175 or something. Yeah. We had a long time on that. I mean, the truck right now is at
your truck
256. The only thing is it is coming up on another smog check, and I don't know. But if it weren't for smog,
dude, I'm telling you. You need to go to the guy that I got, because he seemed like, okay, you have your place.
We have our guy.
Well, but okay, the place by the 7-Eleven by the high school.
Yeah.
I saw some cars go in there while I was there, including some trucks that looked older and dumpier than yours, and they all passed.
See, that place is like open very sporadically, though. Yeah. Because we took it there last time and it was never open.
It was like, I went at like, I think it was because I was unemployed and I went like in the middle of the day. Yeah. It's only open, like you have to go like in the middle of the day.
And it's not every day.
It was, it was the cheapest place by far. Yeah. And
well, that is coming to. We have to smog our Scion this year. It's that old.
Well,
now.
New cars, you like. I always freak out now after having a very bad car. It's not even like even that 2006 Hyundai. I pass with flying colors every year, every time. I'm
so used to having old cars.
Oh yeah. Well, that stressful. Neon, like I went through so many of those repair programs. Yeah. And like
the truck and the Celica.
I remember we ended up like trading, like, because we helped each other with that whole like program. Oh yeah, because I did it first, and I told you guys, I'm like, here's what you need to do, because you guys are ready to just.
We were gonna junk
the truck.
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, dude, there's this program, and
that's the only reason it's still on the road, because. And I mean, it's silly, and I get it's good for the environment, I guess.
Test and repair, baby.
Although I still feel like they've taken something that's supposedly for the environment and twisted it into something that's ostensibly just another tax.
Yeah, but it has done a whole lot of good, because if you look at like pictures of LA in like the 1980s compared to now,
it's true.
It's a million times better.
True. I'm just saying, I feel like some people have taken unfair advantage of it.
It's true, but at least that there's like a program where they'll pay for your repairs.
Yeah, but. That being said, at this point...
And at some point, you can get money for your car.
Yeah.
At least you have peace of mind knowing that when it does finally fail, you're at least going to get, like... Because I think they give you, like, above Blue Book value. Like, they give you, like... It's like a fixed amount.
I think it's like $1,000 or something. Yeah. Which is, I mean, great. Although, with the truck, I still get offers on it. On a regular basis.
I'm sure with that thing.
So I'll one way or another, I'll get something out of it.
Yeah.
Because guys that want to fix up stuff...
Toyota guys, man, you see those trucks all the time.
Man. They love it.
My grandpa didn't have a Toyota, but he had a truck that like he just kept when people are attached, because like none of the parts were original, but he just kept that thing.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
the Prius is going to be good for you. Freaking car thing, but I mean, I'm scared because I think they're gonna blow it up. Like somebody's gonna just blow it up.
Your car with the next,
stole it because like
swallowed up in the earth.
Something, I don't know. Natural disaster is next.
Yeah. I think that's the next level up, right?
Sinkhole.
Yeah, sinkhole opens
up. Hopefully not when I'm in it.
No, but see, so far none of those things happen while you're in it. Like,
I mean, the neon basically just fell apart.
Well, yeah.
But I had gotten it fixed up. Like, that's what people, because people think the purple neon terrible, stuttering all the time. But people don't know. I think you wrote in it once. I did get it fixed and it was fine.
Yeah.
Like I had spent like, because I filled the whole allowance for that program, and then I paid like another few $100s on top of it.
Yeah.
And then and then 2 months later it got stolen. It was like 2 months later.
Driving it around with a knife in the ignition.
Oh my gosh. And like, but yeah, that whole thing, and then this, so like destroyed, stolen. 2 cars, the 2 Hondas, the Brendo 1 and Brendo 2, both victims of snow.
Yeah.
And college neglect.
I thought one of them got broken into also.
Not broken into, but someone totally smashed the front of it.
Okay.
The first neon.
Because you had it like taped or like tied up or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing with my car. Because I know for a while I had like rope like tied on the front.
That was your car.
Okay,
that was the Celica.
It's been, man, that's.
You still miss that Celica, don't you?
Dude, I loved that car. I wept when we had to get rid of it. And you know what took it down is I ran over a rock and it blew out the transmission, and man. Anyway, I miss that car. The sunroof.
My second Honda had a sunroof. It was pretty sweet.
Good car.
I've told the story where I didn't know how it worked, and in the first, I had it like, I like thought I had closed it all the way, and I hadn't. And then then the snow had melted, and so when I hit the brakes, all the water came and like just drenched me.
That's
the first day I had it.
A lot of them, like, it kind of closes, then it goes like a
I didn't
like
do
the
little
thing.
And so in the morning when I hit the brakes and just all this water came rushing down.
That's pretty funny.
It was not fun because it was frozen
in hindsight
water. But yeah, I don't have good luck with cars.
Remember, I used to have to climb into the trunk of the Celica because all the door handles broke.
That thing. Well, you like lived in that car.
I know. Slept in it. It's a great car. It's like home.
You were like sleeping in parking lots before it was cool.
Oh man, dude, I was on cutting edge. All these kids these days
hear all these stories of people sleeping in Walmart parking lots.
Yeah, dude,
you did that.
Walmart, that's like luxury.
Like, yeah. I remember I did it, like I learned from you, and I would do it until I had enough. I had quite a few scary parking lot experiences.
Oh, it can be terrifying.
Just random people knocking on your doors, bums, cops.
Yeah. You remember like the scary part of like the road up to Big Bear, the like haunted stretch there, that all this weird stuff happened. And I remember one time I pulled over there and was taking a nap in there, like in the middle of the night.
Why would you do that? That is so
3
scary.
a.m. I wake up and there's all these headlights coming towards me, and all these teenagers had pulled up with their cars and were getting out and like yelling, and I don't know what was happening, but they were running towards my car. And I woke up and I'm like, and I couldn't get the car started, and then I got it because I was still waking up, and I like peeled out as they're like running after me. I still don't know what happened. If they were going to try to beat me up or steal my car or what.
Oh my gosh.
It was the scariest thing ever.
I remember one time waking up and these guys were clearly scoping the situation.
What's going on?
And I'm like, I'm out.
There's a guy. Oh, man.
And then another time people were like, is this guy dead?
Yep. I mean, I don't know. For whatever reason, we'll never do that now.
No.
I don't know why that was just a thing.
I did it once, like 2 years ago, and it was the worst night of my life.
But that part of it though was the chair, the front seat in that Celica was so comfortable.
Well, it would go all the way.
It went all the way back, and it just fit me, my body perfectly. It cupped my head just right. I didn't even need a pillow. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss that car. I love our Scion. It's great. But I would probably never want to sleep in it for a long time.
Now they don't make those anymore.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I love it. Why would they take it away?
I think they were like doing too well. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're never gonna. It's gonna last us forever.
I almost was thinking about getting an XB, and then we could have been Scion buddies.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I'm paying this much money,
I think and we honestly looked at doing a hybrid of some sort, but when we went, the deal was for Scion. Like, and see, I've never had to do what you had to do.
It's terrifying,
because
dude.
whenever I've gone to buy a car, my uncle was the CFO at the car dealership. I would have
killed
he
for
walked
that.
us through it. And like, if people would try to see, like, I don't want any of your garbage, like, don't try to sell them anything. This is what they're getting, and it was great. And now he doesn't work there anymore. Yeah. He's moved on. He's doing insurance now. So next time we have to buy a car, I'm on my own.
You guys, you should do the credit union thing where you don't have to go to the dealership and they deal with it. Because if I had the leisure time, but I'm like, I can't wait another day. This is stressing me out. Yeah. Like, my hair was falling out.
No, I mean, I can't imagine, because even being there with him, I'm like, but then he would like fend him off.
Gosh, dude, they're so aggressive. Yeah. It's just
crazy. But like, they're in their like smiley, like handshaking way.
Dude. But like, that's where I'm like, I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't like had that mini like Hulk out. Like, I probably would have come out of there with like chrome tint and all that other crap.
Oh, well, he did like. He like set us up with this guy, the sales guy, and then he had to go do some work.
They always
and then he came back in and he's like, "What did he didn't try to sell you any crap, did he? Don't you sell them any stuff?
All that coding
because
and all
he
that
knows
other
that's
crap.
what they're doing.
That's what they do. They try to get you. They got me on a couple things this time, but that was just because again I wanted all my bases covered. Well, I know it's probably not the best deal, but I'm so over dealing with car shit that like if I'm paying a little extra, probably a little bit more than I should, and this might be like because like. A lot of like I was reading articles like, do you need this? Do you not? And then it's kind of in the middle. I'm like, you know what? Again, I need to cover all my bases because I'm the guy. I'm the exception. I'm not like this usually. It normally does. Like like I'm that exception, and I need that covered because again, like, oh, my car's not gonna get stolen. My car gets stolen. My car's not gonna get totaled. My car gets totaled.
Not even driving it.
Freaking nuts, dude. Cars, man.
Yep.
Well, speaking of cars, so I was a little bummed this week also because this afternoon when I got home, I finally got home at like 5.
Yeah.
And for taking a freaking half day off work, hadn't even eaten all day, and realized I hadn't eaten. I was starving. I ordered a pizza.
Okay.
Although I was so stressed from this whole thing, I only ate a couple slices.
Maybe that's good.
Maybe that's good. I'm probably gonna be hungry later. And but then I was like, I need to. I forgot what I was
trailed off there.
But I got home and I was watching wrestling. But that's my Monday routine is I get on, start watching Raw, and then I start working on the Radio BrendoMan notes and stuff. Right. And we had no email and no Amazon.
Oh, well, if we have email.
Right as I was thinking that, Mario saved the day. We still didn't have any Amazon.
Okay. Well, you know. It's a lull. It's because it's Black Friday's next week.
Everybody's gearing up right now. That's true. It's a bad time to buy stuff.
Right. Like why I didn't buy anything this week.
And apparently none of our listeners got that many Nintendo that crashed. Like nuts. Do you know how much stuff has gone on sale on Amazon with no problems? Right. And then the freaking mini Nintendo crashes Amazon.
Because everyone wants it.
I got on there at 159 because it was starting at 2. Right. And when I hit the refresh at 2, it was already it's gone.
Down.
Gone.
Man.
So I'm like, and that was my thing. I'm like, I'm not going out because screw that noise. Because I know I'm not going to get it. Like, it's already 9 o'clock. It's over.
Yeah.
Like, and it was over everywhere. I called a couple places and they were like, no, it's gone.
Ha. Nice try.
Even the Target, because normally, you know that Target, we went over there, they were idiots.
Yeah.
And like even they were like, we had like 5 and they're gone.
The Toys R Us sometimes, because those guys like never know what they have.
It's true.
They never put it out.
I once got like
that's how you know having a Wii U on launch day.
Toys R Us, that was where like there'd be 3DS games that were like sold out everywhere. I'd go to the Toys R Us in Fullerton and like I remember Animal Crossing Wild World, nobody had it. Went to 5 different places, and then just on a whim, I'm like, because it was on the way home. I'm like, well, I'll go into the rest. They had like 10.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
They have weird stock that no one else has sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm over it because I have so much other stuff. Like, I got my Nintendo book.
Be available
I got that book.
Yeah,
it's freaking awesome.
Great.
The Playing with Power book.
Looks like a giant cartridge.
It's amazing. It's like your Nintendo Power. Did you call the power line?
No, I didn't.
I did just to see. It was like voice. It was like menus, and you could pick games.
Does it cost money this time around?
Well, it was still like a call too, but since now there's no long distance. Yeah. So, but it was fun. There was like little tips and
that's weird.
Cool little things.
Kids these days won't even know what long distance is.
Nope. It's so funny watching those watching old Raws and Nitros, and there's like commercials for like 1010, 220, and like for long distance and 1-800 collect and all that stuff. And I'm like, this is all obsolete.
This doesn't even exist anymore.
So last week when I was, did I already tell this story? Well, I told you I had to go down to Buena Park to get my SIM card from Mike.
Yeah.
But I was waiting for him, and I couldn't get the Wi-Fi in the lobby to work. And since I didn't have a phone, I had no way because Mike was running late. And I'm like, I know his plane was probably delayed because it's 2016 and planes are always delayed now. Right. It's a normal thing, how did we end up living in that world? Why are we putting up with this crap?
Once that one plane got behind, the rest is just
because I feel like every flight I've been on in the last 2 years is delayed. Huh. But anyways, so I'm like probably fine. But as it got later, I'm like, I need to go home, but I really need the SIM card. So I noticed there's a payphone in the lobby of this Radisson.
Okay.
And I go there and I pick it up, and the guy just like, that thing hasn't worked in like 10 years, dude. What, do you need to make a phone call? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you can use our phone. You should have just asked. So then right as I'm like picking up the phone and dialing Mike, he walked in the door. Man.
So they just have the phone sitting there?
But I'm like, why is this even here, man? He's like, well, look, they won't let us take it out because the aesthetics, because otherwise it'd just be a giant hole there. And then I'm like, they won't fill in the hole. Like, we
decorate it.
I don't know, man. There's a freaking payphone. Put
a water cooler in there.
I picked it up, and he just, as soon as I picked it up, he's like, no.
I mean, it's just crazy to me because long distance was a thing that we had to worry about.
Oh, yeah.
Until pretty recently.
Big time.
And our kids and the next generation will have no idea what that even is.
No.
What do you mean long distance?
What, long distance? Like other planets?
Yeah. And then like we would get the bill at the end, and like they would see, like if you called somewhere, like your parents would know where you called.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I mean, even like calling my grandparents was long distance, but it was like short long distance, so it wasn't as bad.
Well, then, like, remember at Biola, just like all that, like the freaking phone
bills. Call home and oh my god.
Now, if you had roommates and that whole nightmare mess,
put your code in.
At least we had like individual codes.
Yeah, but still,
like, and then you look at your phone bill and you're like, did I make these calls? What's going on? And then like,
phone bill. Yeah, like it's just.
And then you're like negotiating to get better rates.
Yeah.
Like,
and then minutes, like.
I mean, phone cards
minutes now, like
no. Unless you have like a track phone.
Yeah, that's bad. Like
prepaid.
Phone cards,
dude. I remember having like at any given time like 8 different cards in my wallet because it's Central. Here's how bad things were at Central. They didn't have freaking phone lines in the dorm rooms. Every floor had a payphone.
Oh my gosh. It's like a prison.
And you could get a phone line put in your room, but you had to pay for it. So like inevitably somebody in the floor would get one, but then everybody would be like trying to use it. So that's where I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like, because then everybody's trying to use their phone. Like my friend Jeremiah, bless his heart, he had one and he would always let me use it. But other than that, like there was one payphone, and like the number I gave out to people was that payphone number, and you had to just hope that people would take your messages down if you weren't there. Which usually we had an understanding in the dorm, like if I find out that somebody didn't pay, especially when I was the RA on our floor, I'm like, if you don't take if you're not gonna, my rule was if you're not gonna take down a message, you're not answering the phone. And if we find out anybody who doesn't do messages properly, and we will find you, like you lose like things, there's gonna be consequences.
Right.
And I made dudes clean the bathroom.
That's worth it.
Like because like this is our phone. Like we have like 20 people with one phone. This is already a nightmare. We need to figure this out. And so my mom, this is where like email, I think this is when my mom started emailing me all the time because like you couldn't get a hold of me on the phone because 9 times out of 10 it was busy.
Well, right.
Because like imagine 25 dudes, especially freshmen, calling their girlfriends at home and whatnot. Oh, yeah. And like but yeah,
kids aren't gonna know what busy is either.
Busy signals.
Like that tone doesn't even exist anymore.
It does some places.
Well, rarely though.
Everybody's got call waiting and holding and all that stuff.
But
then but because it's a payphone, I always had phone cards, like those Walgreens ones or whatever ones I could get my hands on for cheap. Like if Walmart was having like a big sale on phone cards, stock up.
Yep.
And like, because like, and I'm like, okay, this one has 5 minutes on it. This one, oh, this is gold. This has got 100 minutes on it. And then I'm like, I have like a bunch, because you would use every single minute on those things. Yeah.
Well, and then like, well, okay, so I went on the Spivvies tours.
Yeah.
None of us had cell phones. Like going across country.
You got those calling cards,
stacks of calling cards with us, and we'd stop at gas station. I'd call home from the gas station and stuff. Like,
or like I remember it was perfectly okay to make like now, like I wouldn't even like if somebody called you collect.
Yeah, like is that even
what are you doing? But I remember calling my mom collect like all the time.
Well, yeah, like from school.
Yeah,
yeah, like
1-800, and then like because a lot of those things it got really cheap, like 1-800 call ATT, 1-800 collect,
right?
Like all those ones, and they were competing.
Yeah,
and so you could get some pretty good rates.
I still have my Mr. T magnet on our fridge that says "Call your mother" or "Call your mama." And it was from like 1-800 collect, and it was like
that's like again like watching these wrestling shows and seeing all these 1-800 like all the David Arquette ads or the Carrot Top ones and like all those were everywhere.
Yeah. And now that's
different
completely
time.
You know that like guy that came up with 1-800 collect is super bumming it right now.
Yeah, but he made so much money.
Yeah, well,
they had
hopefully
their time.
He got out soon enough.
Yeah,
what if he like went all in? He's like, no, cell phone. This thing's not going to catch on.
Cell phones. No, people still need to call. Not everybody's going to have a cell phone.
Yeah. How are you going to hold your mom if you don't have a phone?
Now it's like if you don't have a phone, like somebody nearby you has a phone
and nobody cares about.
I've never been in a situation where I'm like, I have no way to get a hold of somebody.
Yeah, because there's always someone. If there's anyone around you, there's someone with a phone.
Yeah. I've never been in a situation.
When your car crash happened, I think like 7 people called the police. Like, when you called them, no, we got it. We already did. We called them.
Yeah, like
it's crazy.
It still took them an hour to get there.
It did, but
all right. Well, Mario sent in reader mail.
Yeah.
Car trouble. The curse of the Billy Goat hits Brendo. This goes beyond that. The Cubs curse.
Oh.
So you know that whole thing, like something about they either wouldn't let a goat in the stadium or some guy brought a goat. And then like since then they banished the goat, they hadn't won the World Series in like 100 years. And then they did
have a goat.
Well, they tried to, like later on, they would bring a goat trying to think it would break, but it was already done.
The damage was done, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody's going to correct me on the goat thing because I'm not, yeah. I know it's something about a goat and either not being allowed in Wrigley Field or being allowed in Wrigley Field or
ate the grass on Wrigley
something
Field.
With a goat in Wrigley Field. I don't know.
All right.
And the curse of the goat.
Goat cheese.
And then 3. Okay, so apparently our show is where Mario feels comfortable airing his work grievances because he's done this before.
All right, let's hear what's going on. What's the latest drama?
3 new employees don't want to return because a reckless forklift driver was talking on his phone and almost ran them over with a forklift. Is this guy really certified? Let me tell you about forklift certification. It's really easy. I got forklift certified at Circuit City, and I don't think I ever drove that thing without crashing it.
It seems like they're very challenging to drive.
They are. I was a little bit better with the what was the other thing called? The pallet thing.
The cart thing.
Well, there was the pallet jack, but then we had one where all it did was go up and like you put things on it and it went up and down. Okay. It wasn't an actual forklift.
Okay.
It was just you stack things on it. Whatever that thing was. I drove that one too, and I also crashed it sometimes, but never anything serious. I may have damaged some high-end TVs, but not bad enough that anybody noticed.
Okay.
But most of the time I would use it to move things around. So, because we totally did that thing. What was that movie with Dax Shepard?
Oh, the employee
of the month.
Employee of the month, yeah.
We totally did that thing where we hid in the stacks and fell asleep and had a secret hiding place.
That seemed pretty awesome.
We had one like it was like on the very top of the stacks, and we like moved some things around, and like, yeah, you could sleep in there.
Sounds pretty great.
And we would do it.
That's also kind of terrifying though, because what if you got like scary lady living in there? Man, see, then you got like a whole nother level. She's watching you shop.
Yeah.
You think you're alone in an aisle, and then she's just staring down at you.
This was in a warehouse.
Yeah, but Like, it could be out there like at Costco.
Yeah.
You could be hiding up in the stack
there
behind
could easily be people.
I mean, if I'm just like looking and I think I'm alone, and then you look up and you just see eyes looking at you between the boxes.
Now you're gonna be scared the next time you go to Costco. Oh no, yeah, but we would totally like. I remember we would play cards up there. We'd sleep up there, because like sometimes there would be like if it wasn't busy and there was enough people. Like let's say we had just unloaded a truck,
right?
And so we did that, and then there's like 2 guys picking orders, and that still would leave like 4 or 5 of us not doing anything, and our boss isn't around. So yeah, we would sleep in the stacks.
Man.
So Stephen Holiday. Oh, he names the guy. Should we do that? I already did.
It's too late now.
Is reckless and still thinks he's working alone at night.
What if he like starts listening to the show?
That could be any guy with that name.
John Johnson.
Yeah.
But everyone here calls me Vicky.
There you go. Scott Pilgrim opened against the Expendables. That's true. It was a bad move. R.I.P. Scott Pilgrim 2.
It's not fair, though. It's such a great movie.
Oh, my gosh. It's so good. From the producers of Tales from the Dark Side comes Monsters. Oh, they made that.
Oh, okay.
Also, the intro might look familiar because I tagged you guys on the first episode on Facebook post.
That's very
true,
possible.
and
That's probably what it's from.
But I know I saw that earlier. I feel like it. I don't know. And then he says Trump is president. We are one step closer to idiocracy. Also, the Canadian Visa website keeps crashing, so there is no escape.
Here's the thing. Canadians don't take Visa. It's MasterCard only.
Oh, maybe that's why it's crashing.
Yeah. Everyone's going to the wrong thing.
You need to go to Canadian MasterCard. All right. And then apparently now we're Marvel Studios because he's got this beef with Luke Cage.
All right. Well, we'll talk to our people.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him up.
Hey.
Johnny?
Hey, Stan Lee.
Hey.
We're friends, right?
Yeah.
We were at that convention
that you were at. Bumped into you that one time.
Bumped into you. You almost hit me with your scooter that one time.
Yeah.
You said, hey, spider friend.
I've now seen him 3 times in person, so that basically means I can call him
talked to him.
So
he said my name live on a podcast.
There you go.
Well, we need to talk to you about this because we were talking about the prison thing, how'd they get in the prison cell.
Still haven't seen it, so.
From watching, that was a total, not this part, but the other part was a total spoiler.
All right.
From watching a bunch of movies and documentaries about prisons, if the door is electric, you'll hear the door buzz loudly before it opens up. And if it's iron bars, you'll hear a click on latch before the door slides open. Also, some doors creak open. Maybe all the gears were recently oiled. I don't know. I've seen some lockups where it looks like they're normal doors.
Maybe.
And maybe it was well oiled. Again, the freaking head guard was like colluding with them, so he made this happen somehow. Magic doors.
Maybe he had powers.
And then he says, and again, this is where I'm like, who does he think we are? Because then he says, again, I ask, how did those guys get into Luke Cage's prison cell so quietly to beat him up? Doors don't have silent mode.
Because the one guy, he was a superhero, and he is the dampener, and he has like sound dampening powers.
The quiet man.
Yeah. The quieter. The shusher.
The shush.
The human shush.
He's just the shush.
The shush. This shirt just says SHHHH on it.
Well, you know what you don't want to shush.
Yeah.
Is the Stitcher when you're listening to podcasts on it.
You want to crank it up.
Crank that stuff up. I have been now that I got Bluetooth in my car.
Next time you're test driving, put your Stitcher app on your
Hey, listen to my podcast.
That's right. That's a great way to get people to listen to Radio BrendoMan. Go and test drive a car, play our show.
You can use the code BrendoMan when you sign up for your free Stitcher account. Go to radiobrendo.com, click the Stitcher link, and do that. You can also listen to all the other Benview Network podcasts on Stitcher, including I just caught up on yours.
Oh, yeah.
Alex P. Keaton is my friend.
Oh, yeah. I heard the one with my dad.
Really good. The one with your dad. It was really sweet and funny.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
My dad singing the songs.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a good one.
I was going to, at first, when I didn't think you knew who Bubba Smith was, I'm like, come on, dude, Police Academy.
Well, but see, again, when I do on the thing, when we talk about people, like old jokes, a lot of times it's stuff that I might know.
But you were like, I had to look these up.
I didn't know he was a football player.
Bubba Smith.
I knew who he was.
Should have known him by name.
But a lot of times stuff that to me seems like, well, everyone would know this. Like, younger listeners really
definitely don't. But I think everybody knows what a taxi cab is. Because those still exist.
I know. That was my mom making a joke.
But it's still funny. Like, we're not there yet.
But we will be.
But people still, because some places don't allow Uber.
Yeah, do they have Ubers in New York? How does that work?
I think so. They got other stuff. I did want to give props to a new show on the BrendoMan Network. You may have heard their advertisement on the last episode of Radio BrendoMan, and we hadn't talked about it, but it's called Ray Gun Readers. It's where they read science fiction stories.
That's right.
And it's pretty cool. Check that out. And we got Trent Talk and Star Wars Nerds Unite and lots of stuff. Oh, podcast previews retired. That's because he's doing Ray Gun Readers. And already got some
podcast. I still wish Friday Night Film Fight came back.
I wish Picture Start with Derek Armijo came back.
Isn't that like on indefinite hiatus?
Yeah, but he hasn't done one in a long time.
It's been like 3 years. Huh?
It's been a while. But you got all the other ones. Van Dammit. I'm sure they're stoked now that John Claude Van Johnson got picked up, and that's our good friend Chris Gutierrez doing that. Second season of Pick Your Path. I know they're working on it.
Sweet.
Or thinking about working on it. And I didn't see the Friday Night Film Fights guys at Extra Damage, Extra Life. They may have been there when I was there. I didn't see them. Well, Andrew was there earlier, so they were.
We
there.
Missed you there.
Yeah.
It was fun though. Fun night.
They raised $2,500.
Yeah.
And if you can still give if you go to Extra Damage and click the Extra Life. If you want to give, you can also watch the whole 25 hours stream.
See some funny stuff of us. In there.
It was really fun. And you've got all the other, speaking of that Extra Damage, of course.
Yes.
Artistry, MBWS, featuring me and Veronica, talking about wrestling. We had fun this week, talking about goofy wrestling stuff.
Sweet.
And it's fun having a nice escape and all the craziness going on. And I needed it this week. And that kept me going. I watched some New Japan. Also, finally starting to catch up on that, but I'm still way behind.
Did I tell you about the next upcoming Alex B. Keaton episode?
Yeah, with Keith.
Okay, yeah. That's going to be it's pretty crazy. That episode is nuts.
It's the molesting episode.
Yes. And it's
here a new show, episode 6 is your molesting episode.
Well, I mean, because already we've
had sexual assault,
right? And now we've got full-on molestation, and it's shown
teenagers losing their virginity.
Yeah.
And that's the first 6. That's why I love Jerry's coverage. It's no wonder I wasn't allowed to watch it.
It's true. And she hasn't even gotten to the molestation one yet. That was just on the virginity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm excited she's gonna listen though. That's cool.
Yeah. We also got Faux Boys, a Doughboys fan podcast, and lots of other great stuff. So you can check all those out on Stitcher, BrendoMan.com. And you know what else you could check out is Getting Cheap hosting at DreamHost.
Check it out.
Go to RadioBrendo.com, click the DreamHost link. You will save $50 freaking dollars. Sweet Lorraine.
Sweet Lorraine.
That's a Family Ties reference. Isn't that one of the songs he wanted to play on his radio show?
Probably.
Well, there's one where this lady keeps calling in.
I don't know.
Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know.
Or are you talking about Back to the Future? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
But I remember there was one where this lady, the older woman that calls into the remember that? That's one of the episodes that for some reason I feel I saw it in reruns
season too.
And I feel I watched it because she kept calling in.
Maybe it was later in this season. I don't know.
When does he get the DJ job? That's not till later, right?
I don't know, I'm trying to go. I'm not pre-watching anything, even though I've watched it before. I'm going into it as fresh as I can.
Yeah.
Anyway.
See. But yeah.
Mario's on it. That's
DreamHost. Click it. $50 off.
Sweet. Good deal.
You can talk about Sweet Lorraine on your website.
Yes, you can. Make a whole website about it. SweetLorraine.com is probably open.
Amazon Prime's a good thing too.
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
We're talking about how great it is.
They're adding more stuff.
Getting those deals. It's shopping season.
Yeah, well, Black Friday deals are coming up too.
And you get more deals if you're I think you get some of those gold box deals earlier if you have Amazon Prime.
Not to mention pre-ordering video game deals.
Getting those presents, 2-day shipping. My mom's birthday's next week, and I'm still got plenty of time to shop.
You don't even have to think about it.
Don't even have to think about it. She just gave me her address because I didn't know her new address. And I'm get ready for those Amazon packages. And I hope you I don't know, I'd probably get her some more she likes knitting and stuff, knitting books.
It's good. They got those
crafty things, all kinds of mom gifts. I mean, they have a section called mom gifts, and I think I've already used up a lot of those.
Well, I'm sure that there's plenty more.
But yeah, it's pretty great. And you got all the streaming library, the Kindle reading library, the music, photos, Amazon Prime photo storage. You can upload all your photos.
Such a good deal.
Free photo storage. One more place to upload your photos so you don't lose them, Phil.
I know.
Because didn't you lose like a nice big chunk?
We lost a ton when my computer crashed. Yeah.
That's like your life's gone.
I know. There's a large chunk. And believe me, every time we talk about something that happened in that time, Janelle's like,
isn't that like Audrey's like first year of life?
No, it was before Audrey was born, thankfully. Because if I had lost Audrey's first picture,
well, I would have been able to. Man. Yeah, but I have a ton.
Yeah, but still.
I was looking through because I found like my Amazon Prime and I was going through it and there's so many cute old.
Oh my God.
I have like a grumpy Audrey picture that's like adorable. All the pictures of Princess Leia Audrey, First Swing Audrey from the Secret Park. Audrey in what's the goat town? Donkey Town.
Oh, yeah,
Oatman. There's a really funny one where you're holding her up, but you can see your feet, so it's like giant Audrey, and that's really funny. You're holding up in the donkey picture, and Audrey with a donkey. Me holding Audrey, long hair, Brendo. Just man, and I can't believe that was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And then looking at pictures from like 06, 05, all of us young folks in our 20-somethings not having a care in the world.
I know.
That then like all those Florida pictures, that was 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago.
Because we went in like March.
April.
Yeah.
It was like end of March, beginning of April.
Our anniversary.
And just looking at all of us, and I'm like, man, we were young.
Yep.
And we were young. And we could go away for 2 weeks and nothing. And it didn't matter at all. No consequences.
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
you know what does have consequences is buying things on Amazon has consequences to your bank account.
And
but also positives because you get stuff, anything you want, except nobody bought stuff this week.
But we already decided the reason no one bought stuff is because
you're waiting for Black Friday. That is smart.
And our listeners are
intelligent. You have a smart audience. Yeah. Why would you buy something right now? Right. It's going to be on sale next week.
You're going to wait till next week.
Yeah, because even if you don't shop in person, which I'm not a big fan of Black Friday in person, although sometimes I did it to get a PS4.
Yeah.
I might do it this year to get a mini Nintendo.
You might need to.
Also, although I have tried your 3DS, and it is a little, I think my hands are too big. Because that $99 new 3DS,
just so I have a
and it's the new one.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a those are gonna go so fast.
Yeah.
Cause plus it's a limited edition.
Yeah, those designs on
the really Super Mario Brothers design. But I might
$99. Like it's hard. Everyone's gonna buy those. They're gonna sell so many.
So we might be doing that.
Yeah.
But
you haven't
either
decided
way,
yet what you're gonna do.
I still don't even know what I'm gonna do for Thanksgiving. We'll see where the plane tickets are at when I look tomorrow. I have a feeling they're gonna be way higher than the last time I looked, and that'll be the end of that.
Possible.
My family's understanding.
My vacation pants help though. You know where to
go. Yeah, well, I know my vacation. I do all of my vacation pants tricks.
Well, you know where to go.
But yeah, myvacationpants.com.
Yeah.
Get all those tricks. But I think even with the tricks, like the holiday travel.
Oh.
No good.
Speaking of my vacation.
Oh yeah, you guys are going to New York City now. Yeah. When is that?
Okay, so
that was a crazy.
We were just looking. I was just looking at deals like for our spring break coming up next year, and I just looking around because I had found like $97 to Seattle.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great. We're gonna do that round trip.
And that's a good deal
on JetBlue from Long Beach, which is cool.
I would say I would do that, but Carson actually just moved back to Portland. He's done.
Well, it's 107 from Long Beach to Portland at that time.
That's weird that it's cheaper to Seattle than it is to Portland.
I think it's just because it's a hub.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, still, it's round trip from Long Beach to Portland on JetBlue.
Yeah.
So you get free carry-ons. But anyway, so I was just looking around and I was showing Janelle because then I found a good deal on Chicago. It was only like 117 or something like that. I'm like, that's great. And then I scrolled over a little more to the right. And New York City.
New York City will be because that's like talk about hub.
Well, Chicago's a big hub.
Yeah,
New York,
but New York City,
like the hub.
Sometimes I've gotten cheaper when I flew to New York and it was on Virgin. I think I got it for like $140, and it was cheaper to fly to New York City than it was like twice as much to fly anywhere. Sometimes you can get really good deals.
132 round trip.
Dang.
On JetBlue from Palm Springs.
That's like right here.
We're flying right out of town.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's even better because like
they probably have free airport parking in Palm Springs.
Who knows? Park in the desert.
Yeah.
Who cares? But even still, it's JetBlue, so it's free carry-ons, $132.
Dude, New York City. Are you gonna go see the Marmaduke brick?
Well, here's the thing. I looked at it. It's like a 10-hour drive from here. It's the opposite side.
Man.
So I don't think we're gonna make it to that because that's the
we'd
first
have
thing
to like go to
of.
Buffalo.
Yeah, you got. I mean, you could drive there, but
that would probably be to go to the Marmaduke. The Marmaduke brick trip's gonna be like we go there and then we go to like Canada.
Yeah, like Niagara Falls and stuff is there. So I mean, you could drive there, but because at first when we were looking at Chicago, I was actually looking at a loop around Lake Erie, which would have taken us right back past there. And we were like all excited, like, oh, we're gonna go to the thing.
Maybe in 2018 or maybe sometime.
Yeah.
We definitely have to plan a group trip.
Yeah.
To visit the Marmaduke brick.
See that. But I couldn't justify doing a 10-hour drive just for that when we're gonna be in New England. I want to go up to like all the New England states while we're there, So
that's what you're doing.
So yeah.
Have you ever been as a family to New York City before? No. Have you been to New York City? So you just stopped at the airport, went and got pizza.
That's it. Walked outside the doors. I mean, I can't remember if it was a restaurant or a cart or something, but we went outside and ate. It probably was just a cart.
Yeah.
It would make sense. I don't know. This was like 20 years ago, so I don't remember now. But I know we went outside and ate on the street so that we could say we went to New York City. So
if you need a New York City guide, I can connect you with Adam.
Good tips for sure.
I'll definitely connect you with Adam since he lives.
Yeah.
That's my New York, and Rob. And
We'll definitely be getting we're going to Statue of Liberty. That's the thing that
kids
want to do more than anything.
To any like shows? Hello.
I mean, if that was there, but the problem is we got the kids though.
Yeah, well, you dump off the kids.
And where are we gonna? Unless Adam's like a good babysitter,
He might be.
But so probably what we're gonna do, we'll just do like 3 days in New York City, and then we're gonna go up around into New England and such.
Are you gonna? Well, I mean, should I even? You're gonna go to World of Nintendo, right?
Well, obviously, I mean, Statue of Liberty, World, and Nintendo, that's the 2 biggest attractions in New York City, right? I mean, period.
Yeah.
And maybe FAO Schwartz after that.
FAO Schwartz is gone, man.
What?
It's been gone.
I can't dance on a giant piano?
FAO Schwartz went out of business like 10 years ago.
I was told I could dance on a giant piano.
That's been over, man.
Oh my gosh.
I think they even closed the Toys R Us in Times Square too.
Janelle's gonna be devastated.
How have you guys not known that?
Been to New York?
Haven't you know? They had FAO Schwartz's all over the place.
Yeah, but I just assumed the New York one was still there.
No, man, the whole company went out of business.
But they could still have that open.
No, it's gone.
Terrible.
It's been gone. And they even closed the Toys R Us in Times Square that had a Ferris wheel.
I wanted to dance on a giant piano, dude.
You're not doing that because it's closed. Everything ends.
Big lied to me.
No, it didn't, because at the time it was open. And again, you've had a 10-year, that was a long time ago, man.
Well, at least World of Nintendo's there.
World of Nintendo is there.
Yeah, David just went there not too long ago.
You can get special edition.
Yeah, he got a bunch of cool stuff, and he brought home some.
They have merch you can only get there, and who knows? Can you imagine what the tag situation is?
Oh my gosh!
They should have a thing where you just plug in your DS and get all the tags.
Oh,
just get 1 million tags.
I can't wait. So yes, obviously that's gonna happen. So that's gonna be fun. We're gonna go to a cheese factory. Is the other thing.
Yeah.
Because the kids really like to go into factories on vacation now. That's like their thing. So we're gonna find a cheese factory somewhere in Vermont.
Nice.
It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, Vermont.
We're going to Vermont. It's the one. Okay, so once this trip is done, I'll have hit 6 new states. I will have been to 46 states.
A lot.
After this trip, I'll only have 4 left. It's kind of random. North and South Dakota.
Man.
Just never. I've gone all around it on either side.
Both of those, son.
Michigan.
Really?
Never made it to Michigan. We've driven right below it, but never actually dipped up into it. And South Carolina. So I got a little pockets.
Well, South Carolina, you got to do that at some point.
That's why we're talking with
Joe wants to take you on the grand barbecue tour.
I definitely want to. Oh, Mario's in the chat. Vacation from what? Well, I'll tell you what. Vacation from, we're going to Walt Disney World in January 1st.
I'm not going to say a freaking thing, man.
So before that, we're going on Laughlin in Arizona for Thanksgiving. Then January we're
now that I have these freaking car payments, my whole spring break might be up in the air, man.
Oh. Well, $97 round trip.
I don't know if I can afford going to Florida and then going to Portland for a wedding.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're doing that. Florida,
man.
Florida.
I really want to go. You've gone like 4 times since the last time I've gone.
I've gone 1 time since the last time.
No, you know what are you talking about?
Walt Disney World?
You've gone
1 time since.
Well, you've also been to Florida. Period. Like a few times.
Other time.
You went on a Disney cruise.
Not out of Florida.
Oh, still, you went on
out of New Orleans. I mean, out of Houston. No, what was it? Somewhere in Texas.
Well, you went to Disney World.
Galveston.
You went to Florida.
1 time to Disney World.
Another time just to Florida.
Well, we went down to the Everglades.
That's another time.
Yeah, but not to Disney World.
And then you're going to go again.
Well, yeah.
So you will have gone 3 times before I've even gone. And I really want to go to Universal, and I want to go to WrestleMania because it's going to be a big WrestleMania, and all the wrestling stuff that's happening. Like, they've already, like, I don't know, they're every year they start like selling stuff. I'm worried that by the time I got my like stuff together, every other like all the indie stuff's going to be sold out. They just announced NXT is going to be in Riverside.
Really?
We just went to that NXT show, the Palladium. I guess their whole tour went so well. They're doing freaking at the Riverside Municipal Auditorium. That thing holds 1,100 people. I looked at pictures. It's tiny.
Are you going to go?
Oh, if I can. Tickets are going to go in an instant. Me and Mark and Steven already are planning it out. Like, because I think on AXS or on WrestleMania from what? Hey, I work. Phil works too. But what is this? Am I getting texted? Oh, this guy. Jeez. So yeah.
So you're gonna try to go to Riverside.
This guy wants me to go to his Survivor Series party, but 1, it's far, and 2, he's charging. Oh. And I'm like, I can watch it on my couch for free, and I don't have to go anywhere.
That's true.
And I probably have a bigger TV than you.
You should charge him.
Should charge him to come here. No, he's a nice guy. It's the guy we drove home.
Oh yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Well, you drove him home, and he's going to try to charge you. He should be like a freebie since you drove him home.
Well, also he lives in like somewhere out there, Fontana.
It's not that far.
Yeah, but I live here and I have it for free.
Maybe he should pay you to come to his house.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's just good company, other wrestling fans, but I don't know. I'm also like, then I'll have to drive home and then I have to work the next day, and
that's true.
It's fine, But anyways, so yeah, they're doing it at the Riverside Auditorium. It's super tiny. Tickets go on sale on Monday at 10 a.m. And they're gonna like again. They only have 1,100, like maybe 1,200 if it's like.
You're gonna try for it.
Oh, dude, it's practically in our backyard. Like I can't not go to that. They did a house show in Palm Springs that I still regret not going to because that would have been because what we were trying to figure out, like me and Steve, like. What's the biggest place in that convention center? Where would they even have done it? I don't even know. They did it though.
Well, the floor they had it like closed off half of it,
so it still would have. Can you imagine like a freaking wrestling, like a WWE show in there?
That's the biggest.
That must have been nuts. Because like that's where you're paying WWE, but you're so close. That's like going to an indie WWE show.
What if they came and did an indie show in Yucaipa?
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Where would it be?
Probably at that, like an indie show, it'd probably be in that Elks Lodge.
Yeah, that'd be like the biggest venue we have, right?
That's where they do, and that's most indie shows happen in those like PWG. It's like it's 400 people in an Elks Lodge.
Isn't there like a little?
Or no, it's a VA hall.
Isn't there like a little convention center thing at the park over there? There might be a hall there.
There definitely is something, but it can't be that big.
It's not that big, but it might be. They might have a little something there.
So yeah, this municipal auditorium, I'm like, this is gonna be nuts. I have to be there. Like, I might just pay scalper prices if I don't get tickets.
Man.
Because, like, it's going to be tiny. No matter where I am, I'm probably going to be able to touch Nakamura. You
could take an Uber to there. You don't even have to park.
Yeah. Well, also, I looked, and there's, like, this is so small. There's free street parking. Like, after 6 o'clock, there is no parking lot that they charge. There's some city lots, and they're all free after 6.
Huh.
So, because, again, this is, like, a tiny... It's like a little auditorium. It's tiny, and they're gonna be freaking Shinsuke Nakamura is gonna be out there, and I'm pumped. Even though I just saw all of them, I'm gonna do it.
See him in Riverside.
Yeah, I'm stoked. Hopefully I can get tickets. Everybody's freaking out right now about it But we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see what happens. You can check out our Facebook group, check out our subreddit. If you go to radiobrendo.com, there's links to all this stuff. Check out our Clicker Heroes clan on clickerheroes.com, on Steam, on your mobile device, free game. Our clan is called Radio BrendoMan. It's funny. Dan Harmon tried to get a clan together he plays this thing called Cookie Clicker.
Yeah.
And then everybody signed up and none of the people are actually doing anything. So he's like yelling at everybody because they filled up all the slots and they're not doing anything. And he's like, it won't let me kick you out. You need to either leave our Cookie Clicker or start clicking because you're not helping me at all. You guys all suck. He like went on a whole rant about it.
Yeah, but yours is there a limit?
There's no limit, and everybody's doing stuff, and even if they're not, it's not hurting us. But this, it's like not helping him at all. He's like, I have 50 people, and 49 people aren't doing anything, and you all suck.
That's funny.
And so it's pretty funny. And
now they're not going to do it just to get him to rant again.
Yeah. But you can be sure to check out we already talked about myvacationpants.com. Also, new Mandarin Orange Show.
Yeah.
We were a little late in dropping that episode.
Yeah, well, we recorded it on time, and then we had like no school, and we were like playing, and I just didn't.
He's juggling a lot now, people.
Yeah. We had to go to the drive-in.
Well, we'll talk about this next episode, but mountainroomescapes.com, they got a new room they're testing out. You got to test it this weekend.
Try it. Pretty cool. We'll talk about it.
It should be open soon, but if you're headed up to Big Bear, maybe for Blue Christmas in a couple weeks.
It'll definitely be open by then.
You can go to mountainroomescapes.com, use the code RadioBrendoMan, get $5 off each ticket. It's a great escape room. And, man, multiple members of the Vecchio family.
Yeah, everyone but me not everybody. All the boys but me.
And I guess we can thank you, everybody we already talked about this, but thank you again for everybody that participated with Extra Life.
Yeah, it was great.
I guess I do want to give one more announcement. There is a GoFundMe for Tan's funeral. They did meet their goal, but I guess like funerals are really expensive, so they could use any additional money. And I put that link on the Radio BrendoMan Facebook page. So they're still taking donations. And really help the family because funerals are crazy. Funerals are like nutsos expensive. Even if you go like the cheapest, this is our cheapest possible receptacle. It's our most affordable receptacle.
Yeah.
But even that, it's like so expensive. So
then he like pushes the cart. What's this?
Oh my god!
That scene is magical.
The greatest. That movie. I just want to watch that movie. But yeah, we'll talk about the rest of our stuff next time on Thursday.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
I almost said Friday, but we're back on the normal schedule.
Yeah.
But we did like 3 weeks on that other schedule.
I know. Never know. We're wild and crazy.
Wild and crazy. Mario asks, is Alex P. Keaton emotionally scarred from when Tom Hanks slapped him? We're not there yet.
We'll be in 2 episodes.
Man, we're getting that Hanks.
We're almost to Hanks, yeah. We'll
Did you call up Tom Hanks?
Yeah. We're in talks, me and Tom. I'm like, Tommy, you want to come on?
He's all of our dads.
Yeah, so... I saw you on SNL, so
yeah,
I'm sure we'll be having him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this week. What are we going to call this episode, Phil?
Yes, we are going to call it Forklift Disaster Drill. I don't know. Gosh.
What?
I don't know. Words.
I'm going to have to figure this out on my own.
You are. I got nothing. Something.
You didn't even know about Left Shark. Did you watch the Left Shark video?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Oh my gosh. I watched it 10 times after I talked about it. That's how great it is.
I guess I need to watch Left Shark.
Dude, I almost got in a Left Shark like vortex. I had to pull myself out of it because people did like remixes and all this other stuff with it.
No shark left behind.
Nope. But man, I want to be Left Shark. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. Be sure to go to radiobrendo.com. Actually, not this week, but today. This time.
Yes.
Maybe this time.
Maybe this time you'll see.
It's time to end the podcast.
No more talking from me.
Nobody knows what we just said, except maybe Adam Wells.
Adam Wells does, yep.
And
you should call it WrestleMania from what? That's good.
WrestleMania from what?
In honor of Mario's good joke.
Yep, there we go.
WrestleMania from what?
So for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody. That was episode 281.
Yeah.
282.
282. We're getting close to that 300 mark.
Yep.
We're going to hit it before the end of the year? What are we at here?
I don't think so.
I think it's in January, right?
I think it will be in January.
Mm-hmm.
If we had gone bi-weekly earlier in the year, we definitely would.
Yeah.
We would have already hit it.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Still. A lot of shows. Wow.
So you didn't see the Walking Dead sketch where it was all of his Chappelle Show characters and Negan was picking which one to kill, but he did all of them. He had like Little John and the crackhead guy and all of the Chappelle Show characters.
I need to watch the rest of it. I didn't get a chance to because, again, we were up in Big Bear, so I watched just a couple highlights when I had a chance. But I definitely wanted to make sure I saw the monologue before it was too late.
Yeah. No, we're not doing that. I need to get something to drink.
All right. I'm going to show off some of your doodads. Brendan got a new DVD for me to fiddle with.
A new Colt Cabana DVD.
Wrestling.
This one is about comedy wrestling.
Comedy wrestling.
And that guy in the mask is Kikutaro. He's awesome.
There we go. Here's the other things I get to fiddle with. I got a Blair Witch pin. There we go. That's that. That's that. I don't know. This is like a torn corner of something.
What?
I don't know. It's $2 tacos, $2 Dos Equis, $2 margaritas.
Oh, that was that guy's flyer that TJ Miller tore out, remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's why that's there. What else we got here?
It's like a multi-layered souvenir because one TJ Miller tore that up.
Baron Corbin.
That's my Baron Corbin mat relic. That's a piece of a ring mat that was actually used. Baron Corbin probably sweat on that.
Maybe a little blood even.
Maybe.
If you're lucky.
Some nose blood maybe.
What else do we have here? I got some receipts.
Those are voting stubs.
It's blurry so no one can read any pertinent information. I don't know if that counts.
I don't think there's any pertinent.
Oh, what's that? Maybe that's something.
That's like my voter ID.
Yeah.
Somebody could steal my voter ID.
Well, don't worry, no one can read it. Oh, I got your autographed Kool-Aid from Brock there. Let's see, there's Kool-Aid. It's exciting. Remember when I used to do Phil after hours and I would just like do stupid things like read excerpts from
but you would have like a huge audience.
I know.
And it'd be like 3 a.m.
Yeah, and I just sit there like reading out of a book or I don't know, whatever dumb things.
Doing your puzzle.
Yeah, people would just hang out. Miss it.
Well, if you want to do Late Night with Phil, be my guest.
Holy cow. Okay, I'm not going to like reveal like actual information, but this is the card from the guy the
police officer.
Do you see what his job is?
What?
Sheriff-coroner.
Whoa.
The guy that like helped you with your car crash was the coroner.
He says he's got a double job.
Yeah. Holy cow.
The coroner. I hate that guy. Dr. Nick Riviera.
All right.
I don't think I actually showed you. We got a new Comic-Con thank you card.
Oh, nice. Got your Smodcast.
Has DK's card.
That's cool. There you go. So that's some of my fiddle things. You guys have seen the Clicker Heroes things. Clicker Heroes.
Yeah.
What are they actually called?
Hero Clicks.
Oh, it's backwards. Okay, that's why I missed. That was a legitimate mix up there.
Yeah.
When I said it out loud, I knew it was wrong. Hero Clicks.
I'm just boosting up my guys here. You just sounded like Ganon in Zelda 2. That used to scare the crap out of me.
You did not want to die in
that I thought game. You like went to hell. I'm pretty sure you did. No, Ganon came back.
Yeah, just you.
But I just thought like you went to hell and that was
because the whole thing was his followers were trying to resurrect him, and if you
and then it's like Ganon comes back and everybody's dead.
It's not a happy ending.
No, it's real bad. And you would get that a lot.
Oh, yeah. You died a lot in that game. That's funny.
And you know that's what they did.
Yeah, that's totally all it was.
It's probably like Miyamoto or somebody.
I don't know. They actually record audio. They just generate that.
It's probably some generated thing. Sure, that you can look that up online.
Yeah.
I'm sure he asked about it in an interview. Because we also now live in a world where everything is known.
Yeah. You can't not know something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy and amazing.
Yeah.
If I want to know, like I could probably do a couple Google searches to find out how they did that Ganon laugh.
Let's do it. Just do it real fast.
No.
Origin of the Ganon laugh.
Zelda 2, Ganon. How do you spell Ganon?
Yeah, I think it's one N.
Oh, it already autos.
Yeah.
Ganon laugh origin.
You got the clips, obviously.
Maybe not.
Ganon's laugh when getting a game over is actually Soda Popinski's laugh.
Oh.
What is this? You gotta read that.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that might be correct.
Don't go to that.
Bad, but I think that's the one that was saying that. It's got malware on it.
True.
Okay, whenever Link loses light, the screen begins flashing colors, and Link blinks. Anyway, Link runs out of light, the screen ends, and the return again appears. Blah, blah. Interestingly, the screen's former.
Replaying Link's blood on his ashes causes resurrection.
It is a dark screen. Yeah. Modified sound clip from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Also repositioning the text and correcting Ganon.
That was in the international cartridge.
Huh.
So it's from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, there you go. See? Everything is known.
Huh.
It's all known. Crazy. The terror of the game over screen.
Yep.
Man. Crazy. All right.
There we go. All right, ready?
Yeah. Because I got to go to bed.
Burp, burp, burp.
I still got to do a lot tomorrow at work. We got to update the testing software on like another 100 computers. Why do they make you update it every year? And why can't it auto update?
Well, it gives you a job. That's
if
good.
You don't update it, it like deletes itself.
Maybe it's to avoid tampering or.
It is. It's all. But I'm like, I don't like. Are kids really trying to cheat on standardized tests?
I think teachers are more likely to cheat than the kids.
I don't think the kids care.
No,
they don't care about those tests.
Although I used to stress so bad about like the CTBS test. I think I was probably the only kid that's like, oh my gosh, it's like, what am I going to do? Everyone else is like, what do you care? It's not like it goes on your grades.
Yeah, I remember they were like beta testing the Golden State exams when like my senior year. And so like the worst mistake they ever made was like, this does not matter at all. Because it's like graduating seniors. Yeah. So they were just like, because now they do matter. Like I think you have to like pass someone to like graduate and stuff.
Like but they would tell you like this is gonna, you want your school to look good.
Yeah,
and we're like,
they were just testing them, and so it didn't matter at all. And so they were just like, and like people were like just bubbling. And I actually, and that's where I got like the high honors on the freaking economics one. Like when I got the certificate, I'm like, this is a mistake, and they're like, no, like. You had the highest score in your school. I was like, it's because I'm the only one that actually did the test. Like I watched a dude just go through and mark C on every answer. And I actually took it because like economics was not my strong suit.
Oh gosh, still not.
Thankfully, I didn't have AP Econ, although I kind of wish I did. I wish I had taken more AP classes because if it had been framed to me as every AP class is going to save you thousands of dollars, I would have probably done it.
An entire semester of school.
Nobody presented it to me in that manner. All I knew was that it was way more work, and then you had to take a freaking stupid test at the end.
But that's how they sold it to us. They're like, this is going to save you
I don't
so
think
much
anybody
money.
did that to me, or at least they never did it in a way that actually got through to me.
Right.
I think they actually what probably would have had to have happened is if like future Brendo came back and was like, dude,
do it.
Just freaking do it.
You want to be taking remedial math classes in college for nothing and paying
spending
a lot of money
so much money?
Yep. I can't tell you how thankful I am.
Like, why didn't I take like AP Physics?
Because I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I got to graduate early. Saved me so much money.
Like, and I took regular physics. It wasn't that much harder.
Yeah, you just didn't have the test at the end. You probably could have passed the test.
And like regular physics was hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it couldn't have been that much harder to take AP Physics. Same. Why didn't I take AP History? That was my best subject. Why didn't I do that? I did try to take AP English, and I immediately was like, this is so much homework. I am
AP English
out.
Was brutal, but worth it.
I tapped out. I actually, not gonna lie, full disclosure, I got kicked out of AP English. But then my counselor's problem, and this is where my mom and the counselor did take umbrage, because they're like, the options are he takes AP English or he gets put into regular English, and like that was like, and then he's not gonna learn anything in there because it was so stupid easy. Right. And like, I think I've already told this, like I knew the teacher, and even when he's like, you should not be in here.
What are you doing here?
Because like we are so like, you've already read all these books that we're doing, because these are things that like you probably did in like junior year honors English and stuff, and also like I have nothing to teach you. And like, he's like, no offense, but like, look at the kids in this class. Like, he didn't really, but he kind of said that. But I'm like, they kicked me out of AP English. He's like, are you sure? And he's like, they're like, no, he can't do like. And Mr. Carlton was like, you didn't turn in any of your homework. I'm like, I didn't want to. Like,
I don't want to be a pirate.
Like, and this was when I was like, I was working, I just had a lot of other stuff going on, man. And some of those assignments in AP English were nuts. Like,
yeah. Oh, like I probably have said this before. Well, we're not on a show anyway, but I wrote so much during that AP English class. We were writing essays every day in class. We had essays to do every night. We had like long-term essays and research papers. That by the time I got to college, and everyone had said like, you're gonna have to do so much writing in college. I'm like, oh, this is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is nothing.
Yeah.
10-page paper, and everyone's like, oh, 10-page paper. I'm like, dude, I just did that in like 10 minutes.
I was prepared because my junior, I had like a really gung-ho junior, but she was great. But she was making us do that stuff my junior year. So yeah, by the time I got to college, I was like, this is freaking nothing.
I can crank out a 10-page paper with this content in an hour easy.
Papers were never difficult for me, and that because like, but like, yeah, I think that
used to drive people nuts too.
Oh yeah,
I'd be like,
my brother is even worse than me. Like, as far as like stuff that my brother can do in the last minute makes me mad. Like, and I make other people mad. So like, my brother is just the ultimate like. But yeah, I don't know, man. I was just like, and so then I just like that last semester, I got an A+ in English, and I didn't do anything. And it was just like, and I just like, it just was a waste of time.
Yeah.
And that's where my teacher's like, there has to be some middle ground, because like,
they didn't have honors.
Well, English, no, because it's AP.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what we had too.
And I just, again, like, they were like, no, you can't do like, we can't reward your behavior. And that was also where I'm like, I'm still gonna take that test, and I'm gonna get a 5. And I did. I only took one semester of the class, still took the test, got a 5. But so I guess I did get, that was my one AP class. Although I feel like I might have screwed that up and forgot to like, I don't know, because I did take English.
Thousands of dollars and a whole entire class.
I did take English again, but I know I only had to take one of the Englishes.
I didn't have to take any. I didn't have to take history. I didn't have to do math.
I only had to take 1 year of English, because the other year I didn't.
Science. I don't have to do any of that stuff.
I only had to take like Crit Com B or something.
That's why I took so many PE classes.
I was in an English class with Steve.
Yeah.
And the English teacher. And then, oh my gosh, my last semester at Biola, like, I think the writing was on the wall, and I just like really didn't do anything. But I somehow still passed English, because I could pass English and history. But I also had like boost for history, and like, That class was like it was like the most boring class ever, but it was really easy. Who'd you have? You didn't take history.
Well, I did take world history, I want to say.
Did you have to do like a discussion class? Because that was the most annoying thing.
No.
Like a discussion group on top of your class?
No, because
I did it during.
I never had to. Oh. Because I did take one.
Or like bio where you had to do a lab. Like I
never had to do any science.
Stupid.
I mean, I did science. In high school.
Ugh.
No, I took it during interterm, so I never had to do that stuff.
Dude, interterm classes.
Yeah.
I wish all of school could have been interterm.
That was the way to do it.
I feel like I would have gotten straight A's in college if I could do interterm once a year. I take one class for 2 weeks. But if I was on that,
I mean, like, man,
it would take you like 10 years to get a degree, but I would have gotten straight A's and no stress whatsoever. Because that was your only class and that's all you had to do. I remember even the final, I'm like, I'm so ready for this.
Yeah.
This is great. Because I did intro to psych during interterm, and that's like one of the only classes I got like a solid A in college. Because it was like, it's the only thing you're doing. That's all you have to do. Yes, we went to class for like 6 hours or 8 hours. It was a long class time,
right?
But that's all you were doing. And then you went and ate everything in the cafeteria afterwards.
It was that was the way to do it. Because I didn't have to take U.S. history, but I did have to take a world history class. So we should start episode 2 because we're not even talking on the show right now.
Oh my god. Oh shoot. I need to stop drinking that. I think I might have the hiccups. Let me see if I have the hiccups.
Okay.
Because if I have the hiccups, I know the cure.
I know you know the cure.
I remember when you didn't believe me for the longest time. And then everybody, once they do it, it's like the greatest thing you've ever.
Crazy.
It works. My dad taught me that. Actually, I think my dad taught my brother that, and then my brother taught me that.
Passed it along.
Drink upside down. Because when you just tell somebody drink upside down, you're like, what is that?
Oh, you better go do it.
I'm going to do it.
Do it. Do it. Okay, now I'll show more things off. What else? Well, of course, we have Marmaduke. That's the current one we're reading. We got this key from Mountain Room Escapes. This is probably my favorite fiddle item at the moment over here. It's good. You can flip it around. It's got some good textures on the little crown thing at the top. So I like to fiddle with that. That is for sure. I want to look at the... I can't reach the Nintendo book without standing up, so I'm not going to do that.
It doesn't work with this cup.
With the wrong cup? You need a hiccup cup.
I need a smaller cup. Oh, went on my nose. Ugh.
Did you ever get on your 3DS? I know you don't need any more games, you said.
What?
But that oh shoot, what is the name of that game? Little like the cowboy guy. It's like a Mega Man type of game.
What? Steamroll Big?
No, hold on. I'll tell you in like 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. Gunman Clive.
Yes.
Oh, you did get that? Did you get Gunman Clive 2?
I don't know. Was it part of a bundle?
Well, number 1 was, but 2 came out since then, and it's on sale for $1.49 right now. And I just got it, and it's awesome. Heads up.
You get coins for that, right?
No, because it's only like I think it's only like $4 at full price.
Oh, you have to spend
it's got to be at least $5. Yeah, there's a lot of like 99-cent ones that are over $5 though if you want gold coins. But there's nothing to buy with gold coins.
More coins.
And there's nothing to buy with them right now.
Nothing.
No, there's no like.
I still have those coins from when I got that thing.
The only thing to spend coins on, like gold coins on right now, is like discount stuff, which is dumb.
I thought you could get virtual console games.
You could for a while, but
I missed out on that?
You missed out on all those for now.
Crap.
They'll probably put more in at some point, but they took all of them. I got all the ones they had.
Do that.
I don't know. They'll cycle through. You can use silver coins to get like the like backgrounds, you know, the themes that you can get.
That garbage.
But what else are you gonna use your silver coins
I don't think
on?
I have silver coins. What do you get those for? Playing Miitomo?
Well, and like just signing in each week.
I don't even do that.
Oh, maybe not.
Are you still doing Miitomo?
No, I haven't done that for a long time. It's.
I could see you being the one guy that's still doing it.
Here's the thing: if there was like a ton of cool stuff to spend the silver coins on, I'd be all over it. But there's nothing to spend them on. I've got like 600 of them that are going to expire this month because I don't have anything to spend them on. So if they don't have that, then what's the point?
All right, let's get going.
Okay.
Here. Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
I know we talked about this a little bit before the show started, but Nintendo launching the Nintendo Classic and another classic Nintendo launch where they know they have this astronomical demand, but we're only going to make like a few of these and then we're going to draw it out and then we're just going to get that demand up to a fever pitch.
It works like, for them.
Do you feel like somebody in Nintendo, like Reggie, is just dumping those things on eBay for like $200 a pop? And
no, they carefully cultivate that demand and then they like slowly release them. Here's the thing:
I've had enough of this.
They don't have boxes of CDs in their garage sitting there. They sell what they make.
It's just annoying because they know the demand.
They do, but
they do this all the time.
How could they have known this would be that?
Oh,
popular?
They knew. They knew. You could just look at the Google zeitgeist alone and Facebook and everything, and so I didn't even.
People are clamoring for it.
I'm just gonna hold off because I wasn't gonna drive around and be that guy and come up empty-handed.
But there are a lot of people that have been like posting pictures of opening them and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
People are stoked on it.
Well, people are stoked on it. They're also mad at the short cables.
I hope that they are smart enough to have built in a way to get more games at some point.
They didn't.
I think they did.
People have already gone in it. There's no way to do that. It doesn't have internet. It doesn't have any way to communicate.
Have a card. There's
nothing. You know they're just going to make a whole new one.
That's probably true. They'll make a Super Nintendo one.
This is what's going to happen.
And I want that one too.
There's going to be another one with more licensed games or more of this. There'll be the Capcom one or this other one. Oh, dude, you know that's happening because these things, they're just printing money right now. Yeah. They are straight up printing money right now. And this is what they do. And this is it's a little frustrating. But whatever.
But it's working well for them.
So we left off talking about all my car stuff. You went to the escape room. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah. Well,
so let's talk about your stuff, Phil.
All right. Well, so we had a 4-day weekend, as we mentioned on the last show, and we had originally talked about doing a number of things. We were going to go on a trip, and
you're going to go on your whole weird California trip. You hadn't taken your kids on yet. Your kids still haven't been to the Salton Sea or to the freaking What was the other one? Salvation Mountain,
all that stuff.
That's the guy died, but that's still there and everything.
Yeah,
right?
There's some people that took over.
They have a plan to keep it going.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that still at some point. We might even do that during that week before Christmas, because we got a few days off. We have a whole week off before Christmas this year, which is crazy. But what we decided then is, because we were gonna go up to Big Bear to do the room escape, so we just decided to go up there early. But before we did that.
What did you do on the Friday?
So Friday, we were gonna go and do. We wanted to go to the park, the regional park.
Did you get that pass?
By the time we got there, it was 4:20, and they close at 5. So we're we're not gonna pay for it right now. So we had our Frisbees with us, and we just went out to the park. Yeah. And we just made up our own course, and we ran around playing Frisbee golf.
The kids hadn't done that before?
No, not
we really like it.
We played Frisbee with them, but we hadn't actually done
Frisbee golf.
No, and they loved it. It's great. So we definitely are going to go do that. We just they close at 5, so it's hard to
even on a weekend?
Yeah. Well, at least on a holiday. I mean, on the
maybe
Friday.
It was a Friday and it was a holiday.
Yeah, maybe.
I just can't imagine.
I mean, it was getting dark, to be fair, so maybe
that's why.
Maybe so.
Maybe during the summer it's open.
It might be open later. But regardless, we'll do that at some point. We just haven't gone around to it. So we did that. And we also went to the drive-in movies.
Oh, yeah?
And because they had a double feature. We'll talk about it, I guess, in movies. But we saw Trolls and Keeping Up with the Joneses.
I don't even know what that is.
That's Zach Galifianakis, John Hamm, and Gal Gadot, and
I don't think I've seen.
Really? It's really funny. It was really, really good. And Isla Fisher is the main character. Anyway, it was really good. We'll talk about it later, I guess. So then we got up early on Saturday and did like the earliest showing there was of Doctor Strange.
Oh, so you did everything.
And then we went straight up to Big Bear.
Nice.
My parents actually came down and saw the movie with us, and then we drove up there.
Cool.
So we'll talk about Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we went up, hung out, just played games and stuff in Big Bear. And then we went and did the Mountain Room Escapes beta test on Sunday night. So they had their new room, and I obviously can't reveal too much about it, but it's super cool. It's a sequel to the original one, so it takes place in the same space, but it's basically you're coming back to it 6 weeks later, and there's...
So is the first room gone?
No, it's still there. They just redressed the room. So you're coming back. The original one takes place in a hotel, and for reasons that you'll find out in the thing, it's, you know, abandoned, and then a crime happens, and you have to basically come back and solve a crime in the place where the other one was.
Ooh.
But it's all redressed. There's new effects. There's new, like, technical stuff, and it's really, really cool.
Nice.
It's cool. It's like it's in the same space, but it's a completely different experience from the ground up. So they really did a really good job.
So if somebody wants, what do they say? We want this one or this one?
They can, yeah. It's recommended that you do the original one first. Because
so then how does that work? Do they have to like totally like redo it?
I think it takes an extra half an hour to reset it if they're changing them over, basically. But other than that, it's the same basic decor. The furniture doesn't change. A few things are rearranged and stuff like that, but it's, you know, it's the same at its core. It's the same room,
but the puzzles
are different. The equipment is different. There's all different stuff. It's redressed and decorated differently.
Has he really gotten that changeover down? Like for doing the changeover?
No, not yet. I mean, this was the first time that.
I was gonna say I could see where he's going back and forth and like that.
Yeah, this was. It probably what they'll do is they'll book it in like blocks where like the morning 3 shows will be the one room and then the evening will be the other, or something like that. So they don't have to go back and forth too much. But so this was the first time they'd actually run it through at all, you know, with anyone. So it was it was great and it worked well, but you know, they were like ironing out kinks and stuff like that, which they kind of did with ours, but this one was probably a little bit earlier than that even. But it was great. We had a lot of fun, and we did escape from the room with like 12 minutes, something like that.
You guys are gonna be
well, we're on the leaderboard by default for now, so
to get you knocked off.
It was really good, very, very cool. So you guys come out to Blue Christmas on December 3rd. Definitely do a Mountain Room Escape. It should be open by then, because I mean they were just refining and stuff like that. So
cool,
very, very cool. And then we came down, and the kids actually didn't have school today. They had a 4-day weekend.
So what'd you guys do?
So Janelle had school, so we hung around the house. We played games. We did Legos. We did puzzles. We did a cheese tasting. The kids have been begging me to do a cheese tasting.
The kids like obsessed with cheese.
Well, because we went to Aldi's and they had all these like great cheeses. So I was like, oh, look at all these cheeses that I bought them. And then I don't know how they even heard about a cheese tasting. Maybe because we were talking about a cheese factory and they're like, oh, what would you do there? And we said, you could taste the cheese. So I went in the fridge and just cut like a little piece of every kind of cheese. And we have something like 12 cheeses in our fridge at this very moment.
Nice.
And we just sat and did like a cheese tasting for like the afternoon, and it was really great.
They had some smoked Gouda on sale the other day. I almost bought it, but then I'm like, if I buy this, I'm just gonna eat this whole thing, and like that's not good.
You gotta do tastings.
Yeah, I can't regulate myself like that.
Incidentally, Luke's favorite of the cheeses was the Munster.
Nice.
Audrey's was Gruyere. Yeah.
It's like a
little more creamy taste there. So
now I'm thinking about cheese.
Oh, dude, they have so many good cheeses there. They had this like, I think it was a Stilton that was tomato and garlic and basil like roasted or whatever. Yeah. It was.
Well, I've always liked going to because they have like the fancy cheese little thing at Stater Brothers and.
But at Aldi's, they're like half the price though. Yeah. That's why I was like so excited because it's the same kind of thing, obviously. But yeah, I love those. I love it.
Man, I had my first experience with a freaking new bag law.
Oh,
I totally forgot. And I go there and they're like, you want a bag? It's 10 cents. And they only gave me one and they put all my stuff in one bag. And I'm like, I'll pay another 10 cents. But they're like these new like recycle, but I don't know. The handle like ripped right off.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna have to get some of those bags and carry them around everywhere.
We have them just in our trunk now. They're just in there.
I guess that's just how you live life now.
That's where we're at.
Or you pay the 10 cents.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Janelle just has like one bag with the other one stuffed in there, and it's in the trunk. It's not that bad.
I should just start. Somebody, one of Derek's friends, like joked about like selling the plastic bags because like
old ones, because
like I have like 100 in my kitchen.
We probably have like 700 in our kitchen.
I just got rid of a ton. I should have kept them because I had so many. Everybody does.
Target? What about Target bags? Are those thick enough to count?
I don't know. It has to be made of a certain percentage of recycled material, or they have to charge you for it. Or like, because like Shada brought up a good thing. Like, what are they going to do at Disneyland? Their tourists don't know about this stuff. They're not bringing their bags to Disneyland.
But I feel like those might be thick enough.
But I think, again, like enough recycled material. Yeah. It's like if you have a certain percentage of this, I think they already are like, or they'll just go back to like paper bags.
That's true.
They have that, yeah. But like, they didn't have paper bags anymore at Stater Brothers. So I'm like, can I just get a paper bag? And they're like, no.
How do they do book covers?
I think now you can just buy book covers and they're cheap enough.
Oh man, that was like the only way we covered books.
Oh yeah. Also, because I remember doing that and then being like, "This is dumb."
Yeah, but then you could like draw all over it. It's true. Stuff. That's how
that was fun.
Decorate it.
But yeah, it's just like that was fine because like on my thing. I mean, I guess like I'm skipping a little bit, but it's eggnog time.
I know you tempted me coming over here.
That's the title of this episode. Eggnog time.
Here's the thing. I'm like falling behind. I've been plateauing for a bit. Janelle has been losing weight like crazy. She's down. I don't know if I'm allowed to like say.
Yeah, but that's your plateau. You hit your plateau.
I know, but she's like leaving me in the dust.
Yeah.
I think she's up to like 70 pounds now.
You got to mix it up somehow.
I know. I need to.
Mix up your workout or jumpstart your body a little bit.
Well, that's why we started doing the frisbee golf. That's why we went out there. We're like, we got to get out there and walk and move around and stuff more. And it does. Like, it doesn't seem like you would, but you're running up and down hills and stuff. But I don't think eggnog is the answer, though.
It's like low fat. But, dude, they got this pumpkin spice. I haven't seen some of, like, the really crazy eggnogs yet. Because maybe I got to go to, like, the Vons because there's, like, different brands and
early
fancy
in the eggnog
stuff.
Cycle.
Dude, I freaking love eggnog so much. I'm going to be drinking it for the next month. I'm going to get fat on the eggnog, and I don't care because it's so good.
You just drink a whole entire thing.
Dude, my brother and I once did, and I got so sick.
It's very heavy.
Like that stuff did things to both of us. We were out of action for a while.
It's like seriously a lot of calories.
Like, a
lot of calories.
Oh yeah, because it's like eggs and cream and
it's just pure it's just like
bad
and a lot of sugar.
So delicious.
Yeah, I do love the nog.
And it's like it's the best mixer for alcohol in the whole entire world because you put alcohol in that and you do not taste it, and it's great. It's really good. This on Friday. So Derek's birthday was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We wished him before, but we'll wish him after. Happy birthday, Derek. And
Big
so
trio.
On Friday I went to Derek to the Blast from the Past shop and picked up Derek, and we went to El Coyote, the famous Mexican restaurant by the New Beverly, featured in Knocked Up as a place, I guess Apatow hung out there a lot, and and when he was working over there, and it's a Hollywood mainstay.
Right.
Really good food. I had the nachos supreme. They were delicious.
Sounds good.
Derek ordered did a birthday flan, and I made him sing happy birthday to him, and that was fun.
That's cool.
And we just had a good time hanging out, and unfortunately, I think they were just playing some old Cassavetes movies at New Beverly and just wasn't feeling the vibe. Because I was hoping that maybe there'd be something cool playing, but it was like Cassavetes and then like Jackie Brown at midnight, which that's great, but like I've done that like 3 times.
Yeah.
So
it's midnight.
Yeah. And I still had to like drive all the way back to Ukaipa, but it was good, hanging with the Derek and and then other than that, I didn't do anything this week because I was just so worn out from dealing with all this bull crap.
The car saga.
The car stuff and just depression and everything. So I just watched a lot of TV, lounged around.
Because you were gonna come to the RoomScape.
I was thinking about it.
You weren't feeling it.
I wasn't feeling very again, I think I made myself just not feel good because I was so stressed out. and I just was like relaxing. And I think I left the house a couple times. I went to the store to buy eggnog. And I went to Kuka's on Sunday because I really wanted some chips.
Oh, yeah, they have good chips.
They do. They're so good. I love they're very like they're their own chips, and like I've gotten kind of addicted to them.
Yeah.
Because there's a Kuka's
and they do like a big old bag of them.
Yeah, dude, giant freaking bag. But yeah, because sometimes like once a week I go to Kuka's in Highland, like by my school.
Yeah.
So that's like my little treat day, and now I have like a taste for the Kuka's chips.
So you go to the one here in town.
Went to the one here on Sunday morning.
I love
because okay, here's what I first tried to do, and I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought this, but I'm like, I don't think anybody knows because Corky's is open.
Oh,
yeah. I don't think anybody knows.
We went too.
Well, I drove over there and it was insane, and I was like, nope.
Okay, we went on Friday night before we went to the drive-in.
Mm-hmm. Was it nuts?
No, like we got seated immediately.
Because I went on Sunday morning and it was parking lot full, parking lot across the street full, line out the door. So I'm like, nope.
See, I don't think people knew yet. Because it opened. They said it did like a soft.
It opened on Wednesday.
Well, she told us Thursday when we were there. But anyway, regardless, like they didn't like make a big deal out of it. It was like a soft open.
I saw the only reason I knew because I saw it in the Ukaipa news on the Google News.
So now that word is out.
But dude, it was crazy. Then I'm like, well, then I'll go to because I'm like, if there's this many people at Corky's, then Clarky's must be. It's weird that we have Corky's and Clarky's. And Clarky's was crazy because I feel like Clarky's is always crazy. Plus, it's smaller.
Well, because you went Sunday.
But like it was really early.
That's when old people go to get food.
Yeah, but you don't have that church crowd yet. I don't know.
Yeah, but you have the
I can't imagine how crowded because it was crazy. Like, and they, yeah. So I
still open 24 hours.
Yeah, I know. We could probably do like a super late. How was it?
It was really good. But it's very much. It's going to be a good like Denny's alternative. Yeah. It's 24 hours, and it's very much.
Have you been to that diner by Stater Brothers?
Diner by Stater Brothers.
It's by the gym. Like there's like not the gym, there's like the Rite Aid, and then like there's that bookstore that I thought was open.
Yeah, it's not a bookstore.
It's right across from that.
Oh, okay, we're talking.
So there's it's been there for like a few. It's really good.
So this is basically, I mean, it's diner.
It's crazy that we have 3 awesome diners. Yeah. I'm never going to Denny's again.
But it's open 24 hours.
Yeah, so the one in Stater Brothers and Clarky's Clarky's is only open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Right. But this one, the one in Stater Brothers is like 6 a.m. to like I think they're open till like 10.
So now we have like another 24-hour
diner. And you got that In-N-Out right there, which has to be opening really soon.
Word on the street, we were talking with folks at Clarky's. No. Corky's.
How nuts is that place going to be?
It's going to be because it wasn't like mega crowded. I mean, like it was full, but we got seated right away.
That parking lot was full
and people were parking across the street.
Yeah.
And when In-N-Out opens, it's just going to be like nuts. I don't understand how they think.
Why are they sharing a parking lot?
I don't know because it's not enough room. And the drive-thru's in there, and it's like super tight.
And you know how crazy In-N-Out drive-thru gets.
It's gonna be like back
In-N-Out drive-thru gets like I've seen at every In-N-Out, it'll get like 40 cars deep.
Yeah, and they usually have
they have the guy
people walking down the thing.
It's gonna be nuts.
I can't imagine. So word on the street is it's supposed to open the first week of December.
Man,
that's what they were saying at Corky's.
Well, I gotta go to Corky's, but again, that Sunday morning I was being too bold.
Now we didn't get any like bakery stuff. And that I understand is stuff like that they're really good for.
So you didn't have like their muffin or anything like that?
No, so that's probably what will push it over.
I think that's their stuff.
But I got like this amazing like chef salad that was like super really good, and
their breakfast stuff looks awesome.
Yeah, Luke and Audrey got like French toast and they loved it. Janelle got an omelet. It was really good. Definitely good.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Always
not cheap though.
Yeah.
You know.
Not as cheap, more expensive than Denny's?
Probably.
More expensive. Well, Clarky's is cheaper than Denny's.
Like, okay, like I got a chef salad and it was big. Yeah. Lots of meat and stuff on it. It was $12 plus tax and tip, So
that's like Denny's across the street from Disneyland.
Exactly. Or Denny's like midnight menu.
Yeah.
But except this was regular menu. They do have a lunchtime menu that's going to be cheaper. But
I wonder what their midnight menu is like.
I don't know. And like burgers were like $9.99.
That's not bad.
It's not like outrageous,
but it's not like cheap. I feel like Like,
it's not like going to Tam's or something, you know.
Those places are like in that sweet spot.
Yeah, where you get like big, good food,
crazy amount of food
like super
for little
cheap
money. But I mean, it's like because of course Tam's because it's not like table service.
Right. Because when you have the
Clarky's,
table service tipping,
you get like a scramble for like $7, and that gives you all the stuff, and you get that freaking muffin, man.
I would say this is probably a little bit above that.
Yeah.
Price wise, but it's still really good.
Corky's.
Of course, the whole time I was there, I was going Corky.
Yeah. When I drove by it, I was like, "Dang you, Corky! Because it was so crowded. It was crazy town.
Oh, well, I would definitely avoid that off-ramp for the next couple of weeks.
Dude, that off-ramp, and they're always doing all the work on top of it. And can you imagine, once the Christmas tree lot is open, because like we're in between now with the pumpkins.
You're going to have to be driving up and over.
Although I feel like the Christmas tree lot doesn't get as crazy as the pumpkin patch.
They don't have as many activities.
The pumpkin patch thing got freaking nuts this year.
Yeah.
There were people walking like a mile.
Yeah.
I don't those parking lots went so far back. Did they have like a shuttle? I feel like they had to have a shuttle.
But there were some people, they had a path.
And it was dangerous. Because that's like a really busy part of the road where people just barrel down there and like, ugh.
I don't get it.
It's weird living in like a rural area that has all this weird stuff.
But like it's gotten to the point where people are coming from out of town to go
all over. People come from San Diego.
Which is weird.
People come from everywhere. I saw some plates. I kid you not, I saw Arizona plates. And I don't know if like that's like,
well, I mean, we're on the 10, so it could be them just driving
stopping
through town. But
like it's crazy. And like I heard like on the news, they were like people coming from all over, like LA definitely, and like other parts. Like,
and I'm like, are you seeing? Did you go to the same thing I went to?
It's like a freaking destination.
I don't get it.
It's a ripoff. They charge you just to get in, let alone all the stuff.
And then once you're in, everything.
They do have that like root beer guy,
but that still costs money.
But you can't just go to that guy. You have to go to one of those things, and it's so good. And you get that little
powwow again.
Do you still have your tin cup?
Probably. I'm sure it's somewhere.
Oh, dude, we gotta go. Now that I'm even more into Native American culture,
I'm gonna get those wraps. What are those? What are they called?
Dude, the freaking fry bread and all that stuff.
Yeah, fry bread. Oh, when is that? We're gonna go back to that.
Isn't it during the summer?
Probably. I remember it being kind of warm.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I think I had just gotten back from like something. I think it was like in the spring, maybe.
Maybe.
I feel like I'd just gotten back from WrestleMania.
Because we met you.
Yeah.
Because you were down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess we look it up.
I think because I was doing school, so I think it was when I was. So it would have been in the spring.
Yeah.
So I think we got to wait.
All right.
And I don't know if they do it every year.
Oh, I don't know. Why?
Like, isn't like a powwow? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, that was a pachanga, right?
Yeah.
There's probably one at San Manuel. That's like way closer.
Well, remember the reason we went there? Well, for two.
One was they had the big thing,
and Craig from the Res said it was like one of the more authentic ones, and it was like halfway between us and you, so at the time.
That's true. Was I in San Diego?
You were in San Diego, yeah. Oh. So you came up and met us there, and we came down. So that's why. That's
cool. Well, we should go to because it's fun because San Manuel's so close. So like I see their Indian police, like they go to the Kukas all the time.
Oh yeah.
Or at that Baker's, but like
we've gone to a couple shows there and stuff.
And I remember somebody like it was some freaking person was like, "Is anybody off the reservation?" They just looked at him like,
"Oh gosh,
you're a jerk."
That's where Matthew goes every year for his birthday. Do you know that?
Oh, San Manuel.
San Manuel. He goes there because they give like $10 of free slots, and he goes and plays and like.
Do they get free bingo?
I think it's like slot play. But anyway, that's his like tradition.
Do they have like a buffet there?
Probably. Sure they do. I'm sure.
The buffet, dude, we went to this one buffet. I talked about it down in San Diego at one of those places. And I told you about the lobster one. It was like the best buffet I've ever had in my entire life. Valley View Casino.
I'm very excited for Thanksgiving buffet, I got to tell you.
I think that's what's going to happen because I don't think I have the money for plane tickets.
I will say this. If you're going to, like the Tropicana is 100% booked. During the week, because we told my family was like, okay, where are you staying?
I can't stay where you're staying.
No, like our family is in 3 different hotels because everything is booked. The Tropicana is 100% booked. The Golden Nugget's 100% booked. A lot of the regular rooms, it's possible. You should probably decide soon. And I'll
decide tomorrow.
I told my parents because they're like, oh, it's booked. I'm like, oh, you're looking at the wrong site. And then I looked at like 8 sites, including their own. It's booked.
But are there still places?
There are still some, but it's going. It's crazy. It's never like
if you wait, no, because I remember last year I waited and I ended up having to get a fancy room.
Well, yeah, like my parents are at Harrah's, but the cheapest room there was like $90 a night.
I'm not doing that.
I mean, that's crazy that that sounds like a lot.
That's for crazy for
Laughlin. It's nuts.
That is nuts.
So
for Laughlin.
There, Matthew and David and Amber are staying at the River Lodge, is
that the bad one?
No. That's
what's the real bad one?
The Edgewater. Don't do the Edgewater.
Edgewater was garbage.
Yeah, don't do that. Anyway,
man.
It's so anyway, you might want to.
This has been Diner and Laughlin talk. Very relevant information.
It is important to know. It is booking fast. I just can't believe a hotel is booked. I was like, no.
I think the Laughlin Thanksgiving secret is out of the bag.
People are finding out about it.
Because everything else is just getting so expensive. Travel's getting so expensive. If people don't want to deal with airlines right now, because that's gotten out of control. The freaking airline monopolies are ruining everybody's holiday lives.
So now
everybody's like, what's close to drive? Well, I don't want to go to Vegas.
Laughlin,
baby.
Maybe we talked about it so much that our show is responsible.
Maybe it's your fault.
Maybe so.
Well, so that was my weekend of not doing much.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch. We'll talk about that because I watched a lot of stuff. You're like major belching.
I am. Sorry.
And as we talked about last episode, the car saga is finally over.
Yeah, it's good.
I saw the new Prius.
It was Prius.
Nope.
What?
Just saying that was a fail.
Dang it. Well, we talked about it.
Yeah, no idea what was going to happen there.
I had a good one, though.
What?
I was just going to say something like
Prius.
We went out and saw it, Prius starting to record. But it didn't come out right. I got to squint through the glasses. That's how I know.
Hey, on a good note, they started filming freaking Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah, there's a video with JB Smoove.
Oh my gosh, I'm very excited.
It's going to be great. I can't believe it's been 4 years.
I know.
When he said that, I was like, has it really been 4 years? I was like, it's been 4 freaking years.
Absolutely. I mean, I just can't believe it.
Oh, so glad we're getting more.
I'm going to go back and watch them all over again. Just get ready for it.
Man, yeah. Especially now that they're all on Amazon.
Dude, that on what's his name? John Oliver's show when he kept using the Curb music for showing like Trump in the room. It's pretty funny stuff. All right.
Well, on to Book Corner. Wait. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I forgot the order of stuff.
How could you? It's 283 episodes in.
Sometimes we don't make it down here.
That's true.
So Book Corner. I finished the last Scott Pilgrim book, Scott Pilgrim's Finest Hour.
Nice.
It's so good.
Was the finest one?
It was the finest. And then I've watched the movie like 3 times. Freaking love that movie.
It's good.
Yeah, I love Brie Larson. I don't know, that movie's like perfectly cast.
Yeah.
It's a lot of great people. And it's so funny. And I also feel like after watching that again, I feel like Brandon Routh might be like one of our most underrated actors.
Yeah.
And I feel like Superman really screwed him over because he's really good.
Yep.
Think about everything else that you've seen him in, including Superman.
I think he was great.
He was great, but I feel like somehow he got like a stink on him because of Superman, and it's totally undeserved because everything I've ever seen him in, he's great.
He's and I think he was a great Superman. The problem was it wasn't the best Superman movie. I still liked that movie,
boring.
But it's not what everyone wanted to see. It's definitely not.
No. But I just feel like it's unfortunate that he somehow became a casualty of that because I feel like he's not in a lot of stuff, and the stuff he is in is great.
I feel like people are more just like blah about that one as opposed to like vehemently.
But it just seems like
Steel.
He's gotten some kind of stank on him.
It's a shame.
And he's
great. He's really funny in that.
Yeah. So the whole vegan thing and then where he's like, what was it he was eating? Oh, he got like because he got gelato and he somehow had convinced Envy that like gelato was vegan.
Right.
And then someone's like, that milk and eggs are. He's like, hey, like I didn't eat. Like I can have something. Let me have something. Like freaking out. And then the vegan police come and take away his vegan, and then that's when he loses his powers. And it's the vegan police. Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Currently still reading Jim Henson's biography. We are now the advent of the Muppet Show, and I don't know how I didn't know this, but that show was not an American TV show. Did you know this?
Canadian?
It was a UK show.
Really?
Yeah. They paid for it.
Huh.
Nobody wanted the Muppet Show, so we finally got, and then it got syndicated over here.
I did not know that.
Yeah, dude.
It doesn't surprise me.
Lord Wade, famous Lord Wade, that made a ton of UK TV shows, made the Muppet Show happen.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me.
No networks made that show because they all passed on it.
Well, that makes sense.
So, like, that's nuts. And also, it talks about, we already went through the SNL because that, like, was kind of a disaster.
Yeah.
Although it did sound like both parties understood why it wasn't working, so they parted on good terms. Because, like, Henson needed to get out of his Muppets contract, out of the SNL contract in order to do Muppet Show. And when he went to Lauren's like, it was kind of like, well, we were going to fire you anyways, so now this works great for both of us. So because of that, they parted on excellent terms.
It's real weird. You've watched those, right?
Oh, they're so weird.
It's
the Gorch
weird. Yeah, and it's
stuff.
Like awkwardly dirty.
The reason why it's so weird is because the Muppet people, their writer, it was SNL writers, because the SAG rules, the rules of the show are the SAG rules or some rule, the Writers Guild rules. The Saturday Night Live writers had to write the segments. None of them wanted to. Like Al Franken ended up usually because he was like the least. Like the youngest writer, right. And he ended up actually kind of liking it, but like nobody, and like it got to the point where even the Muppets people hated doing it because they're like, who wrote this crap? Right. They have the cast, the SNL cast, because every second the Muppets were on they're all trying to like make names for themselves.
Right.
So like, and that's where the famous Belushi, the mucking Fuppets came from, and like so this hearing about that. But the fact that like it ended up being for the good of everything, because like when it came time, it wasn't like they were a big hit. So when Lauren's like, yeah, you guys, sure,
you're good.
Yeah, you're good. We're good. We're all good. And so they all came out looking good when it could have been a bad thing.
Yeah.
So then, and then also hearing about like the origins of like some of the characters were like they almost abandoned Fozzie because he wasn't working at first.
Yeah.
And like Frank Oz just couldn't get a grip on the character, and then it took one bit where they finally got it working, and it worked out. Miss Piggy started as a background character, and at first, like Frank Oz, it was another where like he didn't know what to do, and then like when he finally, but then like people would get really freaked out when they would do like when the guests would come and they do the read through, and Frank Oz would start doing Miss Piggy, and they'd be like, what is happening right now? Like they were just talking about various people just completely freaking out, finding out that Frank Oz was doing that and Fozzie, and like just like so, it's just really great stories, and it's just amazing. Like they were in London half the year working on that, and then the other half they were in London. They were in New York doing Sesame Street, so they were working year round. They never had an off because if they weren't doing Muppets, they were doing Sesame Street, and again across continents.
That's crazy.
And like
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was filmed entirely in London. The whole 5 seasons.
I mean, I got to give them credit. They put out a lot of good TV over there.
Yeah. And then in my new bathroom reading, as I talked about, because I got this book for like, there was some crazy Amazon deal. I think it might have been a mistake.
Okay.
The Best American Comics anthologies, they're usually like pricey books because they're like these fat like collections of like excerpts of comics and graphic novels and all that stuff.
Okay.
And so the 2015 edition I got on Amazon for like $3. It's hardcover. And I started reading it, and it's not superhero comics, so it's just all kinds of cool. Okay. And like some of them are really weird, but it's all really good stuff. Like it's a lot of like underground comics and other stuff, and really cool stuff. And so far, I really like it.
Sweet.
And that's pretty much what's going on with me. What's going on with you in the book corner?
All right. Well, I started Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Ooh.
So far, so good.
How far are you?
Not very far.
So you don't know about the Half-Blood Prince yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I think I read like a chapter and a half, probably.
There you go.
It's
I'm
short,
curious about this next one.
But I'm excited about that. Okay, so went by that bookstore that's down by like Teriyaki Time over there.
Oh yeah, the Goodwill one?
The Goodwill one. We picked up Wingstop, and it would take a while. They said it was going to be like 20 minutes. So
did you count your wings?
Count our wings. They actually gave us extra ones this time. I think because they took them an extra long time.
There you go.
We're like, that's fine. And
I think that's their standard play when they take a long time.
I think so.
Which is nice. That's how you keep customers.
Yeah, I'm happy with an extra.
Because they did that to me, and they were just starting, and I knew, and I was like, it's cool. I know you guys like you're still getting the hang of things. They're like, no, have some extra wings. I was like, all right.
So anyway, I ran in that bookstore there, and first of all, they had like a sealed shaped puzzle 1,000-piece for $2.
Whoa,
really cool! It's like a dolphin one.
Take that, man!
So I got that.
Because what are the odds of ever finding a sealed puzzle at a thrift store?
I know. I was like, and I looked at them like $2.
Normally, like thrift store puzzles, you don't buy thrift store puzzles.
But this has like plastic wrap. Like this is
unless you want to mess with somebody.
Yeah.
Then you buy thrift store
puzzle. Exactly, and then you give them a puzzle with one piece missing. So anyway, but they had this book. And it just caught my attention because I was looking like the youth books. Mm-hmm. It was called The Haunted House. Man. You know, I like kid ghost stories. Awesome. So I looked at it, and the name of the author is Peggy Parrish.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does, right?
Who's that?
She created Amelia Bedelia. She's an Amelia Bedelia author.
Yeah.
And so
I might have had this book.
Okay, well, you might have because when I started looking at it, I bought it, and then I was looking at it because I'm like, that's Peggy Parrish. And I'm like,
I think I had this book.
Is a series of books. With I think they're triplets, or at least they're 3 siblings, and they like solve mysteries and go in like haunted places and stuff.
Okay.
The one that I had as a kid
really is ringing familiar.
It was called The Key to the Treasure.
Yeah.
And they like solve all these puzzles. It was like an escape room, like proto escape room, but they solve all these puzzles to find this treasure. And it was like one of my favorite books. I've probably read it 30 or 40 times in my life. It was a book that my mom had, and she passed down to me, and I read it. I have a copy of it still. I didn't ever make the connection between that and Amelia Bedelia until this book, and this is part of a series. And she wrote a series of 6 books with this.
Got another 6.
That's our next series, dude. I'm telling you, and it's great. So I'm not gonna go and read all the rest of them right now because I'm super excited about doing it on our next series. But it's super good. Like these kids, like they do like ghost things and they find treasures and stuff. And oh, dude, I'm excited. So Amelia Bedelia author made these like books. I'm super excited.
I think I want to change my vote for our 8 series to Little House.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
I don't know.
Little House has got 9 though.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So what we could do is
let's do Anna Green Gables.
We could do Anna Green Gables and then Little House if you want,
that
like back to back, like Frontier
time. I don't know.
We could come around to that another time.
All right. So that's what you're reading.
Yes.
All right. We got some music talk. Man, people dying. Rest in peace. Leonard Cohen died, and that led to at the intro to SNL. If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it because I've never cried during a cold open at SNL before, but I did.
Okay.
Because it was. Let me tell you, Kate McKinnon is our MVP of 2016, as Malcolm said. Like I'm calling it because. Between just all her overall work on SNL, Ghostbusters, and this, and like her Hillary Clinton stuff.
Oh, and Masterminds.
And like just all her stuff. She's amazing. And so it was her as Hillary Clinton on the piano, and she was playing the piano and singing, and it was beautiful. And but she still was like, she winked. There was this moment where she winks right at the camera, and you just melt. And then like, it was amazing. It was a great tribute to Leonard Cohen. It was a great way to address, just kind of put a closing, like it was just like, I don't know, just really. And I was a huge Leonard Cohen fan because I don't know, did you ever watch Pump Up the Volume?
Yeah.
I think that's where I first heard Leonard Cohen because Everybody Knows was featured prominently in that movie, and it kind of fit with the theme of the movie, just about kids rebelling, and everybody knows the game is rigged. Everybody knows the war is over. Everybody knows the good guys lost.
Christian Slater,
man. Oh my gosh, that movie made, I think, everybody in our generation wanted to be a radio DJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's kind of where and then the 2005 documentary, Leonard Cohen, I'm Your Man, because he has a really sad story. You read Kenny Weisberg's book. He goes into detail about it, where basically what happened was Leonard Cohen had been touring for years. He's all set. He went and he retired. He went and lived in a monastery for like 6 years. And when he came back, his manager had stolen like $6 million. And he had like kids and a family. He had like kids in college. So he basically spent the rest of his life on the road making that money back.
Huh.
And yeah, because he had all that money stolen.
Wow.
And because one of the better stories in Kenny's book was about like him. He booked one of Leonard Cohen's first shows on that tour, because he was back on the road, he had this huge resurgence, and he ended up playing giant arenas and stadiums, and then when Kenny tried to book him again, he just not happening. So that's another plug for Kenny Weisberg's Off My Rocker. It's a great if you're into that kind of stuff. And he had a great whole. It was like one of the few artists where he actually wrote a whole letter, because he had this whole thing where he was a radio DJ in Colorado, and he got kicked out of his apartment, and he went on the air, and because he was a freeform DJ and you could do stuff like this, and he's like, I'm gonna just, because it was Monday morning, and that's when you want to hear like Pick Me Up and Leonard Cohen songs be pretty depressing. And so he's like, I'm going to play Leonard Cohen songs until somebody calls in and helps me with an apartment. And somebody did. And then that's where he ended up meeting his wife. So in a roundabout way, because of Leonard Cohen, he met his wife. And so he wrote a letter and gave it to Leonard Cohen's manager. And Leonard Cohen actually read it and invited him backstage, and they hung out with Leonard Cohen.
Pretty
and
cool.
It's a really cool story. And anyways, and also, I also didn't want to forget Leon Russell passed away. And if you don't know who that is, he was a member of the famous Wrecking Crew.
Oh, okay.
He was on those Beach Boy albums. He was the keyboardist for a lot of those classic Beach Boys tracks, including Pet Sounds, but even the pre-Pet Sounds stuff. So he was and then he had a solo, kind of like Glenn Campbell after the Wrecking Crew got big. He kind of capitalized on that first. And he was kind of a Southern rock. He wrote a lot of very popular Southern rock songs, and like, cause he was one of the, like him and like Glenn Campbell and some of those other guys like really had huge careers because of their success in the Wrecking Crew. You still need to watch that documentary, because then you would know who Leon Russell is.
I would.
And he also passed, so rest in peace.
And I was telling you before the show,
this is only going to get worse.
It's just because this is how old we are.
We're getting that age. People are always like 2016. I'm like, oh, people, you need to face the reality.
It's not getting any better, man. We're just getting older.
We're at that age where our celebrities that have been with us our whole life are no longer going to be. This is what our parents went through when they were our age.
Yeah.
Because think about it, they lost their icons.
Yep. And I remember being a kid and not knowing who they were talking about or caring about it.
Man, we're gonna lose the other two Beatles like in the next. I'm not gonna predict.
Oh, look what you just did, man!
We're killing. We already. Cheryl already is convinced we might have already cursed Paul McCartney.
Look what you did.
We really did.
You said it. I didn't say that one.
Well, it's sad.
It is sad.
But I don't know. I mean, like, I don't want to say anything else because we have killed some people. So also there was some new music from some of my favorite bands. So Sleigh Bells is a band that I've been into for quite some time.
Yeah.
And wasn't super. Their first and second albums are amazing. Their second album especially I really loved, mostly because there's a song about the Goonies and I freaking love it. But then their third album I thought was a little too overproduced. It kind of was lacking that oomph.
Okay.
So I think they realized that because their new album came back and it's pretty high on the oomph factor.
Nice.
I was really blasting it the other day. Really, really digging it. It's still crazy to me that like they can do what they do and it's just the two of them. And I don't know. They're really great. And then another one of my favorite, he's kind of folky. If you're a Sufjan Stevens fan, you really should check out Devendra Banhart. And I've been a big fan of his. I think he was I think you know how Natalie Portman dated a bunch of music. He was, I think they were married maybe.
Okay.
But I don't think they are anymore. And but his newest album, really good. Because he's also an actual, he's an artist. He's really out there. But I've listened to a lot of his. If you look at my Last FM, he's pretty high up there in my all time. And his new album's really good. If you're into like Sufjan Stevens and that kind of stuff and kind of weird folky stuff, like it's definitely worth checking out.
Awesome.
So it's nice because you always get worried when there's that new album. And you're like, is this it? Like, are they? Because especially as people get as they experience more commercial success. Yeah.
Sometimes that can be
which
bad.
Was worried. That's why the third Sleigh Bells album, I was like, oh no, like because it was very clearly they were going for like it was very like again overproduced,
right? Commercial.
Like, so I'm glad they kind of went back in the other direction. But that's my music talk.
Sweet.
And what about you? Got some new movies?
Yeah. Well, very briefly, we went to the drive-in and we saw Trolls.
Yeah. Verdict. DreamWorks Animation, man, they just kind of gone down the tubes.
It was pretty bad.
It looked bad. The Comic-Con panel was like, I mean, you had freaking, but I had like quite a voice cast.
Yeah, and the songs were good. They had some like really cool covers.
Ron Funches was in it.
There was a cover of there was a lot of great voice actors, but overall it was just pretty weak. Like the kids were okay with it. And they were like, yeah, they had fun, but even the kids, like they're not quoting it right now. Like they're done. Yeah, they had fun watching it, and then we're done. And then the second movie you said you haven't even heard of is Keeping Up with the Joneses. It's Zach Galifianakis and
he's done a lot of stuff lately.
Oh, dude, he's on a roll. This movie was great. It's kind of like a classic one where they have new neighbors that move in. It's John Hamm and Gal Gadot, and they kind of act weird. Her. And it turns out they're like spies, and they like stumble into their like spy thing, and it's super funny. There's a really great cameo of the bad guy. In this? What do you mean?
Like who directed it?
I don't even know.
Wrote it?
I don't know. I don't know beyond like the four main
I really want to. There's a new movie. I don't know if it's an HBO movie. I think it's a movie because Derek saw a test screening. It's Michael Showalter directed, and it's Kumail. It's basically the story of Kumail and Emily like meeting and dating. Because I don't know if you've heard this story, but when Kumail and Emily like first met, like Emily ended up, she got like I forgot the circumstances, but she ended up being in a coma for like a while.
Like while you were sleeping.
Yeah, it was like it was like that. And like this is what that movie was about. And it sounds, and Derek said it was great. And
that's cool.
So I don't know if that's actually, I think that's a theatrical release. I'm pretty sure. But I know Judd Apatow is producing a lot of stuff. Like he's got that Pete Holmes HBO show coming out.
Well, I'm not sure I don't know who's behind this, but it was really, really funny and really good.
But you guys saw some other movie that Michael Showalter directed that you said was really good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that was now.
Because I haven't seen that either. Because you were talking about it on
they came together. That was what we were.
Yeah, but you were talking about something else that he had directed.
I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Well, he's obviously he does good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this one's really good. I recommend it. It's probably like I don't know how well it's doing, but you haven't even heard of it. So.
Oh, you keep saying that they came together. You think that's David Wayne.
Oh, it is. You're right.
Michael Showalter is also their buds, but they don't.
I know. I know, and they were both in the States.
Yeah. Well, they also work together quite a bit.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, sorry for the Wayne / Showalter folks. I thought was he involved in it in some point?
Sure. Right. They worked together.
They worked together. They came together.
Yeah.
And then we saw Doctor Strange. Saw it in 3D.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So nuts, right?
Oh my gosh, I loved it.
Blew it freaking open.
Oh, dude, so good. The 3D was fantastic, by the way.
And how much are you like Thor Ragnarok's gonna be freaking awesome, right?
Dude, like everything, it was just great.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. Great. And
I'm so glad we went to that Comic-Con panel because that was like the coolest thing ever.
And I'll tell you what it was for me. It was like all the best parts of like Inception without the like interminably boring story. Like
them going over the bridge 8 times.
Yeah, because the effects were phenomenal. Like it just looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it was really funny.
Yeah.
And my favorite was Wong. Like he was a really funny dude.
Speaking of him, I just watched the last episode of the new season of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
He has a big part in, and he's really good.
Oh, it was great. It was super great.
I really like that guy.
Yeah.
You know he's
really
British?
Funny. No, really?
He's British. Everybody's British.
Well, everyone is.
You just have to realize that's my default now for everybody is they're probably British.
They're better
because that guy is British. Cumberbatch, all those guys are British.
Tilda Swinton is like
after seeing her in even from as far away as we were, she just like even being the fact that we were in the same room with her, I feel like I am better than some people because I've been in the same room as because she just radiates. You could even Chris Hardwick like melted and but I totally because as soon as she started just her presence in real life but then on the screen she's incredible. She's a freaking otherworldly being.
Well, I feel so briefly to address I know there was concerns beforehand about whitewashing. It was a completely multicultural group of people and I think that was a good way to handle it.
I thought it was the best way they could have handled it given the situation.
It was fine. And
I think they could have.
There probably might have been other options, but I feel like it was done tastefully. There were people of every nationality that were a part of that group. That is the Guardians or whatever.
I just it was so good and just it was so different.
Yeah, it was, and yet
but it's still kind of
going to fit in with everything,
dude.
And when he said that. Well, okay, spoilers now. I guess
now that Doctor Strange is in the freaking mix, dude.
Oh my gosh! And when he I didn't even get the thing about the eye until he's like, you don't want to leave an Infinity Stone, Lara. I'm like,
dude.
Oh my gosh. And then I knew it all ties together, but I didn't even get that until I saw it. And then things that could have been like, that could have come off as cheesy, like him getting his cape, were like, that was like some of the funniest like cape humor. Like, I don't even know what that was, but it was hilarious.
It was awesome.
It was great. It was super good. I really liked it. And the fact that Tilda can go from that to like the reporter, like sassy 50s lady and Hail Caesar, like those, like she can do anything.
She's amazing.
She can do anything.
She's like I think she's like the greatest actress going on right now.
And another part that like,
because I mean, think about her in like the Wes Anderson movies that she's been in, and think about all the other stuff she's done. Like everything she does is like different.
Another part that could have been really cheesy and they just did it perfectly was all their hand motions for doing all magic.
That weird stuff.
In lesser hands, that could have been horrible.
Horrible.
And it looked incredible. Like, and the way they did, I mean, Tilda in particular.
Like, I'm sorry, but think about the freaking Last Airbender with Shyamalan. I'm sorry.
Hey, I will even say there's no comparison.
Yeah, but that was like it could have ended up like super cheese.
It just looked, I believed every time they were carrying a magic
I
sphere.
felt like I could start.
Yeah, I'm like, oh. And when he's like trying to get the sparks aren't really.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like, and I love when she just leaves him on Everest. And then like, sitting there.
Oh, it was so great.
Freaking awesome. Just all the crazy stuff, and like Rachel McAdams
was fantastic.
She's amazing, and that whole thing, and like
I'm telling you, it bumped up to like one of my top.
Oh yeah,
Marvel movies. Period.
So good.
It was great, and we went to school at the same school that Scott Derrickson went to, who's the director. I met him briefly.
Yeah,
Janelle met him. He came and spoke at our thing.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah,
he's definitely like Biola's poster child now.
Well, yeah, for their film program. I mean, come on.
I mean, by far the most. There's other people that work in film, but like.
And the funny part is, he wasn't even going there when they had all the new crazy stuff that they had.
He was there when they were like with VHS decks. And I'm telling you. And I
wonder what his student, like, what Biola films did he do? Were they better?
I don't know. They probably were. But I mean, because it's also on track to be like one of the higher grossing Marvel movies. Period. So like he went from like directing like low budget like horror movies to boom. So
but this is what happens for a lot of these guys. I mean, think about James Gunn, same thing. Think about some of these other guys that there were like, I keep forgetting the guy that's doing Thor Ragnarok, but he's only done like super low budget stuff.
But to Marvel's
this is what they do, and this
is
why it's working so well, because they pick like each movie has its own flavor,
right?
And they take risks on these small time directors,
but who better to handle like this weird mystical
it's perfect
thing. And then again, spoilers, the ending was one of my favorite endings of all time.
Dude, that ending was amazing, because
here's what happens. So he gets to the part where he like faces off with Dormammu, and it's a big,
spoiler.
I said spoiler. I said spoiler several times. He faces up to Dormammu, right?
Yeah.
I said it before.
Yeah.
People, if they had not stopped listening to it at that point. So he's like, and it's like this big, like, monster, like, fakey looking guy. And
you're like, oh, here comes
he's going to, like, punch it.
Here comes the big battle.
And in fact, at that point, Janelle was like, I got to go pee. Like, tell me, I'll come back. I'm going to miss this part. So she came back, and I didn't realize, but she missed the whole thing with the time cycle. So she's like, it was good, except, like, I can't believe he had to fight, like, a big... I'm like, no. That's not what they did. He didn't fight it. It was the best thing, because that's exactly what you thought was going to happen. And then when I explained it, she thought it was cool. But
he basically tricked him.
Yeah, he tricked him, and he tricked us, because I thought it was going to be the end of Hulk, where he punches a big space monster and then or lightnings him or whatever, and it's done. And it was genius. It was like the best possible like subversion of that whole thing. And I loved it.
It was amazing.
Absolutely fantastic.
Great.
All right. That's my Doctor Strange cheer.
Time for DVD on demand corner. I still got the wrestling. Been watching some New Japan World. Oh, Mark Ariano did bring up, here's the problem about the NXT Live in Riverside.
What's that?
It's the freaking Thursday that Rogue One comes out.
Is it really?
So I'm not going to be seeing Rogue One on the Thursday. I'll have to go on the Friday. And I know you guys are going to go on the
Did they show the new trailer in the theater?
I know, it's freaking amazing, right? But there's only I can wait a day to see it, because the Nakamura, I'll take Nakamura. You don't understand how awesome it is. But it is kind of, I think Mark is legitimately struggling.
Oh, well, speaking of trailers, by the way, real quick, there was a trailer and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty good. One of this is, oh yeah, this looks cool. And then I realized this trailer that I was kind of interested in was the Power Rangers movie.
Dude, it looks awesome.
I know, but I can't believe I'm interested in a Power Rangers movie.
Dude, it looks awesome.
And Janelle leans over and she goes, oh, wow, I can't believe that kind of looks good.
It looks awesome. You want to watch it?
I never was interested even remotely.
I wasn't really either, but it looks cool.
It does look cool. All right, I just had to say that. It does look kind of cool.
Last Man on Earth this week.
I haven't seen it.
What?
Oh, we were in Big Bear.
What the crap, dude?
Big Bear.
Why don't you watch it today?
Janelle had conferences all day.
Oh my gosh.
Late day.
Well,
don't say anything, but just it was good, right?
It's a tearjerker, man.
Don't tell me.
Tearjerker.
I don't want to know.
You find out more about Lewis's
backstory. I don't want to know.
It's so good.
I don't want to know.
Are you caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet?
No, but I watched another episode this week.
Did you watch so you haven't watched
I haven't seen
you got the Ghost Rider origin story.
I'm like, that's the next one. I'm up to that point because I saw on the description.
It's really freaking good.
But it's really, I watched another one earlier this week.
So good. And there's a lot of political intrigue going on.
Well, I'm at least 2 episodes ahead of when they're shutting it off.
Yeah.
So I have
at least you've gotten to the part where there's shady things going on and they don't know who to trust.
Well, now they've teamed up with Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's awesome. But Ghost Rider is awesome.
He's great. The actor is great. What's his? I don't even know what his name is.
I don't know the director, but it's Robbie Reyes.
But oh my gosh,
that was a genius move. Just this is not Johnny Blaze. You can forget about Johnny Blaze.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring back Johnny Blaze a few years from now.
Yeah, maybe we won't.
Maybe we won't, and maybe we'll just have this guy.
And the guy who the fire guy when he fights him and he had the chain he grabs it back.
Yeah.
Because I called that from the moment I saw it. I'm like, dude, Ghost Rider. And then everyone's like, it's not Ghost Rider. But I'm like, that's a Ghost Rider chain.
But that's the guy, the other fire guy.
I know, but I'm saying they called back to that.
And he's an Inhuman.
But it was still a hint that Ghost Rider was coming.
They just announced, I think Mark posted it, but the Inhumans, it's not going to be a movie now. It's going to be a show. And it starts next year.
I mean, that's cool.
It makes sense because they've already introduced Inhumans into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. universe. And instead of then having to because they can't do Inhumans now without, I still think they're trying to keep Coulson out of the movies. And because they've already talked about that. So I think if you did Inhumans now, you'd have to bring in the S.H.I.E.L.D. people, and I don't know if they're ready or they want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I think that's why they're doing another, because this way it'll take place in that same universe as, I mean, it is all the same universe, but there's definitely the same immediate universe of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that whole thing. Because again, they've already introduced Inhumans and that whole thing, and I think this will be all of the next big jumping off point.
Well, and I mean, I would be more disappointed, except that the TV shows are all fantastic. Yeah. So it's everything.
There are a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. haters out there.
I don't understand.
Which I don't get.
I do not understand. Everything that they touch is gold, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I really like it.
So it's fine. And I also saw they're doing a theatrical show of the first 2 episodes, so that might be fun.
There wasn't. I'm so angry at how there'll be an episode of Last Man and not Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
This freaking release schedule. But did you watch
I did watch the horse meat one.
Which that's why I've read it's so good. Ken Marino.
Yeah. It was
so great. So just
the whole
Tina,
undercover scene at the party was so awesome and it was great.
And slide and just all that stuff and
loved
great.
It. Well, and then his mic keeps he's scratching it one time and
it's really itchy.
And he's shaves it. It's what are you using? And it was duck sauce or something. And he's why are you doing it? It worked really well.
So South Park this week was nuts because, as famously now detailed, they basically had to rewrite the whole episode at the very last minute. Some of the stuff from their original, because it was going to be all about Bill Clinton being the first gentleman.
Right. It was called First Gentleman, right?
Well, now they had to change it to, so that stuff was still sort of in there, but not really, because then they so they kind of had to scrap a lot of stuff and then redo a lot of stuff. And I don't think it was definitely not quite what I was expecting, but it was still a really good, and it did progress. It's just so crazy now that they're actually doing storylines, that this is still only the 2nd season that they've ever done that.
Yeah.
And so it's building this season-long arc, and I still am not quite sure where this is going, but I know it's going to be amazing when we finally get, I have an idea of where it's going, but the stuff with the member berries is so freaking funny, dude. It's hilarious and just really goofy, and they took it. They basically, so now like the Gentleman's Club is Bill Clinton and Bill Cosby, and it's kind of their way of reminding people like, Bill Clinton's kind of despicable, you guys, and we kind of gave him a pass during this whole thing, and it is kind of like, like it's not that far off putting him with Bill Cosby. Right. But yeah, it's pretty funny. And then Total Bellas, it was the season finale. They only had like 6 episodes because Total Divas starts this week. Oh. But it's a weird show because it's like Daniel Bryan, who is awesome and a normal dude, living with John Cena and all these crazy rich people, and him basically being miserable every second of it. So it's like if you put a normal person in a reality show and that contrasting thing. It'd be like if you... Because he's like such a normal dude. Right. He has an orchard and a composting toilet back home, and he just wants to go back there and not live in John Cena's crazy mansion where he makes you dress up for dinner every night and have coffee hour. John Cena, that's the whole thing of the reality show, was they all moved into John Cena's house. Okay. And that's not for any real reason. It was the supposed reason was because Nikki Bella just had neck surgery and she needs their help because she's, I don't know. It was like hire a nurse. It was a very loose premise. All right. Again, you could tell Daniel Bryan was like, I'm only doing this because I love my wife very much, and this is my family that I kind of have to deal with. But the second he could get out of there, he got out of there, man. And I don't blame him. Because you could also call the show Rich People Problems. Like the last straw for him was Nikki, like his sister-in-law, was giving him a hard time because he wanted a 4-bedroom house instead of a 5-bedroom house. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
It must be nice.
Yeah. The Goldberg this week was fantastic. The action movie. And then, like you said, he really made that movie almost shot for shot. Oh, like the end scene where, because I'm like, oh, it's going to be like, but no, it was the exact what they did. With the
same title and everything.
And with all the bad puns.
Oh my god.
Because it was like the PE teacher. The PE teacher is like the shit. And I love that guy. They got that PE teacher guy is so funny. Fantastic. And Dave Kim.
Dave Kim is great.
Oh, dude, that show. And the whole thing with like the sweaters and gimbals going out of business, and the gimbal sale, and then the coupons.
Oh, I love it.
And like, because that reminded me, like, oh, dude, it's such a good show.
Yeah,
it's so good. And they just announced that Kevin Smith's directing an episode, and I can't think of a better pairing.
No, that's fantastic.
I'm really excited for that.
What's it gonna be about?
And I've never done this before, but I might try to be like, hey
man,
can I come check out the Goldbergs? Maybe not that, but just can I come? I'm gonna see. I'm gonna do it. I've never done it before.
You should offer to PA for him.
I'm not doing that because that's like, give me a job. You don't do that.
Free.
No.
Valet.
I'm just gonna try to be like, hey.
All right.
So I know who to contact, and I'm probably gonna do it.
If you're gonna pull a string, that's a string.
I might do it,
dude.
But what if we could go see the Goldberg set?
Them watching Commando at the beginning too was so great.
Because that was like every like watching action movies with your dad.
Oh, man.
And the dad and Murray's just like talking during the movie. And,
it was super funny.
And that was kind of a common dad bonding was like that. I remember as a kid, like the first movies you really bonded over were like dumb action movies.
Well, they just, I don't know. They nailed that whole
thing.
Yeah. It was great. It was super great.
Because it was a very unique time because those movies don't really exist anymore.
No, it's a very, very specific. I mean, outside of the Expendables.
Yeah. Which basically is capitalizing on that.
Maybe like Fast and the Furious is kind of but next generation of that.
Yeah, but the 80s action hero movies, like there's nothing like them.
It's it's definitely
and oh dude, the best part was at the very end when they just had Murray like doing all the action lines.
Yeah, where they
my god.
Arnold Schwarzenegger puts the guy off a cliff. Have a nice fall.
Yeah, he just did and that was Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff Garland.
That was Jeff Garland just ad-libbing all those.
Try not to trip.
Oh, dude. Yeah. That was great. SNL this week was great. Chappelle totally delivered. The thing that is bothering me is hearing all these people on Facebook saying, if the show was this good, I would watch it all the time. I'm like, obviously I've been watching lately because especially this season has been amazing. And I still argue that it is that good. It's always been that good.
People that always say that kind of,
and I'm like,
it hasn't been funny since blah,
you need
blah,
to
blah.
go back and watch because obviously you haven't been watching because it's great. And this was a great episode, but I don't even know if it was my favorite one of this season. It was really good.
Some really good ones this episode.
There was some few great sketches, but I feel like
Benedict Cumberbatch was one of the best
great
ones. I mean,
there's been a lot of great ones, and it's the hits keep on coming because Kristen Wiig's the next.
Oh, is she really? I didn't know. Nice.
After Thanksgiving, so I think like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, SNL's been great. Again, that cold open, man. But there was a lot. The Chris Rock. That's getting a lot of.
Great. Well, that's the two. I only watched the two. That and the opening, the monologue.
But yeah, there was. He did something because he actually kind of did a Chappelle Show thing where he actually introed the sketch where he had all the Chappelle Show characters. You know what Chappelle Show?
Yeah.
So he kind of did that. And then he even made a joke where he was like, man, I thought I was going to be like the next David S. Pumpkin. Oh, it was because they had another sketch where at first I'm like, what is happening? And it was like a bad sketch. And then they did it was like a whole joke about what if they had like, and on like sports, well, you don't watch sports, but if they had like an after the sketch analysis, they have like a press conference after the sketch. And they're like, what happened now? Because it was like a botched sketch.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa, is this a real botched sketch? And then they go into it shows them walking off stage into this press conference room. And then they have like a press conference about it. And
that's pretty great.
It's so meta and weird. But because Leslie Jones is the ones that screwed up the sketch. Like, Leslie, what happened? She's like, I don't know, man. Just sometimes shut the. And then she gets really pissed off. And then A.D. Bryant's just playing the super, just next question. And then they're like, Dave, didn't you think? He's like, yeah, man, I thought I was gonna be the next David S. Pumpkins, and instead I'm like this is really funny. It was so weird.
Watching him even just do that stand up, I was like, man, why did he go away? I know he didn't entirely go away, but he went away a lot.
Yeah. I think he just got sick of it, man.
He's so funny though.
Well, think about I think he just wasn't ready to be, because Chappelle's Show was so huge, and I don't think anybody thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah, and then just to walk away
and that's nuts. Yeah. But he actually did it.
Yeah.
He walked away from millions of dollars.
A lot of money.
And I think he just flipped out. And I don't blame him, because that could have been the turning point where he who knows? Yeah. And maybe he knew that, and that's why he decided no. And because I remember I saw him that year. I was at the SF MoMA, and he was just with his kid, and he just kind of gave him it was kind of one of those if you're gonna be cool, I'm gonna be cool. Let's all be cool. And so I was nod. Hey, yeah. And then he was and then I was that was it. And I'm I got my, and because we were looking at Picasso's, and I'm and it was all good. And but I'm I think this is what I think he's in a good place now where he just wants to spend time with his family and not be, because I think it was just too much, which is nuts, but it happened. I watched all of Rick and Morty season 2 on Sunday.
Okay.
That show is amazing. Have you watched any of it?
I've watched the first 2, I want to say.
Dude, season 2 is it's so what they're doing on this show. Again, there's some emotional stuff, but it's also so absurd and insane. And Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland are truly crazy, but crazy geniuses. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. The reason is there's this Rick makes a young, he basically puts himself in a young version of himself so he can go to high school with his grandkids, and he's I'm young Rick, and he just starts he'll just start yelling, I'm young Rick, it's just so goofy. It's really funny. And then I started watching Now 2-0 again just because.
Back from the beginning or catching up with Lizzie?
I'm still on season 8.
Okay.
So I'm way past where Lizzie and Kat are on season 4. They just started season 4. So, because I started catching up with them and then I went way past. That's basically what happened with that. All right, what about you?
Well, Goldbergs. We already talked about that. I didn't watch a whole lot of TV this week because
get up on that freaking Last Man.
I told you conferences and Big Bear.
All right. Well, I have a mandatory must watch for you.
All right.
I don't know if you've been hearing about all the buzz about this.
What?
Sing Street is like the best movie of the freaking year, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
What?
It's a group of kids. It's Irish. It's sort of a musical, but dude, you like School of Rock. This is basically School of Rock, but almost even better because it's about these kids in Ireland in the 80s. They basically are at this horrible like Catholic school, and they make a band, and they're futurists, so they're trying to because they get influenced by Duran Duran and The Cure and stuff.
Okay.
But then it's a basically think about when you're in high school making music and it's so good, and the music is they're the songs and the music so they make music videos and it's so awesome. I think you will love it.
All right,
I'm calling it right. I think you need to watch it.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix now, and I think you will love it. It's the feel good, wonderful nostalgia because it takes place in the 80s, and the music and just the high school, being in a band, being total outcast, but finding your friends, making music, bonding over music, bonding with your friend over writing songs together, meeting a girl, and trying to get the girl by having her in your music videos. Huh. It just, I don't know. It was so good. It's so good. I loved it so much.
All right.
I think you will love it.
I'll give it a shot.
Finish Luke Cage, finish Black Mirror. Holy crap to both of them. Everybody needs to watch them. They're so good. They're so amazing.
Luke
Cage is incredible. There's some crazy cameos, not by other Marvel people, just crazy cameos. And but you probably won't you'll go right over your head.
Very possible.
Method Man is in one of the episodes, and it's nuts. But
definitely wouldn't have known that.
He's in the Wu-Tang Clan.
I've heard of that.
Well, anyways, Black Mirror, so good, so freaky, so insane, just so freaking good. It is just, and it's all again the Twilight Zone type stuff, but there's some feel good stories in there. They throw in one feel good story and 5 just oh my God, our future is ruined. We're all gonna die because this is gonna happen. Crazy stuff, man.
I've heard nothing but good things about it.
So good. So freaking good. And then I watched another episode of Detectorists, and I love that show. Have you watched season 2 yet?
No, I only watched first season.
Oh, dude. So I won't spoil anything, but Simon and Garfunkel will come back, and it's pretty great.
That's great.
Yeah. Mackenzie Crook, it's so funny.
In Trolls, their best cover was Sound of Silence, and it was really cool.
Nice.
It might be worth just listening to that online, if nothing else.
I heard good things about the music.
It was fine.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. I think that's just gonna leave. I played a lot of Splatoon.
Oh yeah, it's good.
And I played that new word game that was free on PS4. But mostly Splatoon. I'm almost level 10.
Nice.
How much harder is the competitive play?
Here's the thing.
It's so weird.
The great part about it is that no matter what,
dude, it's so weird. There'll be games where you get totally wiped out. You're going up against obviously these guys are either in the same room or they're on voice chat somehow because these are coordinated guys. I had one where we got totally freaking blanked and I don't know what was happening. I don't know how they did that. We got freaking 0%. I didn't even know that was possible. But somehow they had some coordinated attack, and they somehow got to a point where they were just camping on us, spawning, and we couldn't even use to the point where we couldn't. I tried to because right now I got the roller, and I got the radar thing where I'm planting those around, which that's really turned the tide in some games. Where if I can get really far out there and then plant some radars, and then my team wins. And it's crazy that you can do that kind of stuff and still get tons of points and not actually. But so I've had some games where I'm still like when I was like level 7, I'd be going up against like level 50 guys, and I would be in first place because I actually paint. Because there's clearly people that don't know how to play the game correctly.
Right.
There are clearly people that are just doing deathmatch and killing each other. Meanwhile, I'm like painting up a storm and getting tons of points, and we'll win the game, even though some guy on the other end has like 20 kills. So I'm like, this game is not all about the kills.
Right.
Like, this game is about paint. And there are a lot of people, it seems like, that don't grasp that. So like, the matchmaking is weird, but I think it like puts me with way higher level people because I'm playing at that level. Because I'm actually playing the game correctly.
Well, and that's the great part about it, is that even if you're not good, because I am not good at doing kills.
Oh, dude, I barely ever. But now, as I'm a roller, sometimes if you get it in the right place, you can just fly over people. That's the only time I get kills. But I'll go
regardless.
I'll go like 5 games in a row without getting any kills. But I love like finding an area where there's nobody around and just painting up that whole area.
You can go through a whole round and just paint and not even see anything.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about it.
And I love that there's different play styles, but I'm a big fan of those roller guns.
Yeah.
I love the roller because I just feel like, and I like tank up, and I found like all rare gear, and I'm like doing pretty good. I think I'm doing good, and it's fun.
We need to play together this week sometime, so we got to figure that out.
Definitely.
We beat Rivers of Alice today
on
Wii U. It's super great. It's beautiful. And just the music is so cool. It's the one that Janelle called an Etsy video game because it's all cute and stuff.
Nice.
But I definitely recommend it. Super good.
All right. Well, it's time.
It's time.
It's time. It's Marmaduke time.
Okay, this one looks interesting. All right, so we got Phil.
Whoa.
This is weird.
I'm just looking at this.
Yeah, okay. All right, so Phil is standing up, and Marmaduke's like up on his shoulders. His nose is like face to face with him, right? He's like standing up on.
I already have a theory about what is happening here. Marmaduke's trying to do the transference.
I think he is, because okay, so at first they're like mostly upright, but Marmaduke's
leaning on him. He's like staring into his face.
And Phil's like, down boy.
He's trying to do the soul swap.
Now Marmaduke's like leaning in closer to him. His face is like up against him. Phil's like, down boy. He's getting more upset. Now they're like leaning over entirely. Marmaduke's on top of him. Down boy. Now they're laying on the ground. Marmaduke is standing over him, and he yells, down boy. Now Marmaduke sits on top of him. His nose is in Phil's mouth.
This is actually kind of dirty.
Down boy. And now Phil turns his head sideways. Marmaduke's like leaning on him, licking him with his tongue is drooping. And then he says, up, boy, up.
Okay, that's messed up in a lot of ways. But I think Marmaduke's trying to do the soul suck.
It is. He's not breaking eye contact. He's
doing the soul swap. He's trying to do it.
And Phil knows it. And that's why he can't move away. He could just back away in real life.
He's got him soul locked.
He can't do it.
Man. Maybe Marmaduke has finally collected his bones, and he's trying to. He's gonna transfer. Yeah. He's gonna wipe out Phil.
He knows he's got it, and then Phil knows it, and he's fighting it. Down boy is like his one word.
It's messed up.
I don't know.
This is a really weird comic. Just if you're just a kid reading this,
on a very basic level.
What the frick is going on here?
Like he's humping him here. He's on top of him.
Yeah.
His nose is in his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like I don't understand on a basic level what it's supposed to be.
Also, why would you own a dog that could do this to you?
Yeah, well, we know why.
We clearly know.
Yeah.
There's no way that they would have this by choice, because this is direct evidence that we've already seen Marmaduke pretty much murdered somebody last week.
Well, yeah.
And now he's getting very aggressive.
He is. I mean, he's pinned him to the ground.
Okay, maybe because he's emboldened by he soul sucked that lady.
Yeah.
Now he's got powers, so now he's like, I'm going for it. I'm going for Phil, because that's his ultimate goal. Maybe once he soul sucks Phil in his life, his purpose on Earth is complete,
that's
and
right. That's his be at peace. The final step.
Because that's how he avenges his death.
He also if you look here,
but he could be swapping with Phil, and then Phil ends up in the Marmaduke body. What if they just constantly have to go back and forth?
What if it's like Phil's dad back in his body?
Yeah, we don't even know. Who knows?
Also, if you look in this first panel, they're standing up together, and their heads are almost even. Marmaduke's maybe a little bit taller. Then all of a sudden, boom! He immediately grew. A foot.
Yeah, he's growing.
He's growing. He gets taller and larger here.
He's shape-shifting.
Yeah. And then here, see on this one,
he's shape-shifting right in front of Phil's face.
Right, like here, his feet are like Phil's shoulders and Phil's knees. Now all of a sudden, he's the entire length of his body in the next panel.
this book way more than the last book kind of is really proving our case.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is
we need to
weird.
take this to Malky because again, I feel like
look at you explain this on any kind of normal comic. What is happening here?
And the one before it.
Yeah,
and the whole thing with Dot,
the murdered
like
dog.
The last few have been so freaking
weird. I'm just gonna peek at the next one.
Is it back to dumb?
I don't know, probably. All right.
There's always dumb thrown in.
That was a weird one. That's a weird strip. That's Marmaduke.
That's Marmaduke.
Oh, I can't wait to get our brick replica.
All right, what are we calling this episode?
We are calling it...
It's eggnog time.
Oh, yeah, you already said that.
I already said that.
That's right.
All right.
Cool. Thank you all for listening.
And have some eggnog.
Or watch longingly as your friend has it.
I'm telling you right now, because I know there are a lot of people who are saying gross eggnog. I feel like you might be like me, and maybe it's because you had a bad experience with it when you were little. Maybe you didn't know what you were drinking. But give it another try because that's what I did. Because I went a lot of years not liking eggnog, and I regret those years. I'm telling you.
Wonderful.
Eggnog is delicious. It is the nectar of the gods, and then if you can get that eggnog shake, I know it doesn't always come out.
It's good stuff, though.
Man.
You know how to draw us in with those shakes.
Eggnog, pumpkin, shamrock.
You and your shamrock, man. That's synonymous.
Although, like I said, I have not been a big fan of the shamrock or any of the shakes for that matter since they started doing the
new mix,
the fancy ones where they mix it in because it's not the same.
Yeah, it's true.
It's definitely not the same. I remember the first year they did that with the shamrock. I'm like, what is this? This is not a shamrock shake.
It's a shame.
They're like, this is how we do it now, and like, then you're doing it wrong.
You take away everything.
Give me back that whatever the crap was in that mix.
Pre-packaged stuff.
I want that. I want that. Oh, dude, I used to have to refill the freaking milkshake machine at Burger King. There was nothing natural about that stuff. It was disgusting.
It's powder.
It was like ooze.
Ooze.
It was ooze.
Powder ooze?
It was definitely ooze powder. It was not dairy. There was nothing dairy in there. I don't think.
Dairy can ooze.
Maybe. It was a dairy product. Non-dairy product?
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't know. Whatever, man. Everyone wants real ice cream now, and you're ruining it.
I know. Give me the fake stuff.
Just give me that. I'll take real milkshakes. I'll take a real chocolate shake, but for Shamrock and all that other stuff, no. You ruined it. Because the mix, it's not the same.
I can't believe they ruined it.
Don't even get me started.
Don't even get me started.
Man, and I'm still waiting for that like I remember there was one time where we were close. If like a specialty shake and a McRib.
Yeah, like at the same time.
I've never had that. I feel like that would cause like
that's like a rift in the space-time continuum.
I think they intentionally don't do that. Yeah. They're like, you can't have a shake and a McRib.
No, it would break it. It would cause a paradox.
That would cause like dogs and cats living together.
Yeah. It's insanity.
Can you imagine a novelty like a special holiday shake and a McRib?
That's just
and then what if it was holiday shake McRib during Monopoly?
Oh my gosh, that would be, dude. If they did a McRib Monopoly season,
I would die.
Stuff on McRibs,
I would die.
I would die.
I would definitely die. I would eat McRibs every day.
Can you imagine?
I would die.
McRibs. What if it was McRibs and Shamrock Shakes original mix, and that's the only thing you get Monopoly stuff on?
I would die.
Brendan, what happened? We'd be like, police would be pounding on your door.
Even though Monopoly sucks now, I would still do it.
The police would be pounding on the door, and we come in, and you just have green sludge coming out of your mouth with like
and
pickles
barbecue
on your
sauce.
face.
It'd be a mix of green barbecue sauce.
That's why you don't get the McRib and the specialty shake at the same time.
The sham rib.
The sham rib. It's never gonna happen. No sham rib.
The sham rib monopoly.
That's kind of a good title too.
Sham rib monopoly.
Sham rib monopoly.
That's what I think. That's better.
That's good.
Sham rib monopoly.
Sham rib monopoly.
I mean, you could do it yourself. Like, let's say you saved some Shamrock shake.
Like freeze it.
And then when McRib came out, you de-thawed it, but you also waited for, and then you froze a McRib,
off and then put it on the McRib box.
I've got my own sham rib monopoly.
It would just cause a rift right there,
and then the world would explode.
Portal would open
because some guy just wanted to try all three at once.
Sham rib,
you had to cross the stream.
Not the sham rib
That's
monopoly.
Crossing the stream. Yep. Sham rib. I really want that.
You want a sham rib so bad, don't you?
What if they somehow like made a shamrock shake sandwich? I don't know. Because did you see like I guess in like Europe or somewhere they made like a Nutella like burger, but it doesn't have burger in it. It's just Nutella.
That's gross. I don't like Nutella.
How do you not like Nutella?
It's too close to peanut butter.
There's nothing peanut butter in it.
It's brown and
hazelnuts
and
it's delicious.
Ugh.
Have you even had it?
Yeah, it's gross.
You're crazy.
Listen
to this guy.
It sounds like it tastes like Marmite.
Marmite has nothing to do. Marmite is like all the
spreadable
weird
jars of things. Gross.
Oh my gosh. Although now it's led to where it's just Hershey's is made like chocolate. It's just freaking chocolate.
Well, chocolate
just straight up. Yeah, but I don't know how they market that in a way that's not just like this is garbage
jar
food.
Of chocolate.
Like instead it's like you spread it on a sandwich. I'm like, you can't do that. It's too much.
You can put chocolate on a sandwich. Sure.
It's too much, man.
Well, it's like I like the jelly part of peanut butter and jelly. I have a jelly sandwich.
This is just straight up chocolate.
Yeah.
This is candy. You can't do that, man.
Jar of candy.
Talk about crossing the streams.
Yeah.
You can't just eat chocolate every meal. I feel like it's City Slickers. Like he ate pork at every meal. You can't do that.
Yeah.
City Slickers is really good.
It really was.
I was just listening. Jake Lloyd on Movies Made Me shout out to Cheryl Jones.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He talked about City Slickers at length. And it was really cool because I'm like, that is a great movie.
City Slickers 2 is underappreciated, though.
I was not a fan.
I
think it's just because I think it was because like you had to substitute John Lovitz
But John Lovitz is great.
Yeah. But
come on.
It's not the same.
Plus he had the whole joke with like Curly like and his twin brother and there's all that like
oh my gosh.
That weird like is it really him?
I definitely think it's underrated, but I also don't think it's nearly as good.
I'm not saying it is good or better.
The first one is like a classic.
I'm just saying underrated.
People
give it too hard of a time.
I agree, but I think it's because the first one was so good.
Yeah, but on its own, it's a really funny movie.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
I'll give you that.
All right.
And on that note, it's way past my bedtime.
Yes.
All that extra sleep, cashing it in tonight.
You just used it all.
Went
through the whole savings.
Went through it.
Blew it all on one podcast.
I found out that that's not even a thing. You can't bank sleep. It doesn't work that way. Once you miss sleep, like you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's over.
You can like sleep and like rest again, but you don't like make up the sleep.
Yeah. And no, it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
But we like to think it is, and maybe that's all that matters.
Yeah. It's a placebo effect.
Just like hitting that button at the walk sign.
That's right. Still, I like naps, so that doesn't change anything.
Yeah. It's nice napping.
Naps are nice. This is the old man podcast now.
Yeah. When I have my sham rib Monopoly, and then I get that nap on, and then I drink some eggnog.
Sham rib.
Man, if I owned a McDonald's, I would make that happen.
Get sham rib Monopoly.
I would hoard.
Save all the stuff.
I would hoard the stuff and like not use it when I was supposed to. Like I would get a call from like, yeah, we see that you don't got those Shamrock Shakes out. I'm like, oh, it's all bad.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Well, we're gonna skip it. You can't skip it. Oh, hey, it's my store. You can't tell you what to do, McDonald's. And then when McRibs came around, and then they tried. You can't do this.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
Black market McRibs.
You're gonna cause a hole of every universe. I'm like, I'm gonna be cashing in all the way to the bank is what I'm gonna be doing.
They're gonna love it every step of the way.
And I would die because I would have sham rib Monopoly for every meal until I died.
That would be a good way to go, though.
Dude, that'd be my last meal in the prison. If I was in death row, I'm like, make it happen. They're like, we can't do that. I'm like,
guess you can't kill me then.
You can't. No, that's the law.
That's great.
Sham rib Monopoly.
Yeah, it's got to have the Monopoly pieces on it with the Best Buy bucks.
Some poor like guard is like making like a box and like putting the Monopoly pieces and finding Best Buy dollars from 2005.
I'd want to get the old style vegetable chips too. I would just ask for all kinds of food that have been discontinued.
Yeah.
I want the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza snacks.
It's all optional, and they'll just be like, no, you can't have any of that, and we're going to execute you.
Dang it. Well, hopefully I don't get on death row then.
If I get at death row by accident, I'm going to sham. They're going to be like, sham rib Monopoly.
That's it. Every day, that's all you're going to talk about. He lost it already. Sham rib Monopoly.
That'll be my last words.
Any final words? Sham rib Monopoly.
Okay, it's late.
Yeah.
It's time to go. We hope you've had a good time, and go to radiobrendo.com for all your Radio BrendoMan stuff and the Amazon link, Amazon Prime free trial.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everyone.
Discount. We're going to be off next week, so sorry. No episodes.
So you might want to savor this last one and listen to it
Savor the flavor.
Yeah.
Listen to some other Ben V Network podcasts at benvnetwork.com. They might be doing Thanksgiving episodes. I don't know, but we're kind of tapped on the classic episodes.
Are we?
There's a couple, but they're weird.
Oh, I want to hear them now.
They're weird. I don't even want to do that next week. We'll release them at some point.
That's fine.
Again, we do have a post once our Kickstarter is done. We might have a little plan where you might be able to get the whole BrendoMan archives.
Yeah, it's true.
We're making some moves.
Making our way in the world today.
But that's later. That's for later. And I just want to enjoy my week off, and I'm sure you do too.
Everybody will be okay.
Everybody will be okay, and have a good Thanksgiving. And if you're in other parts of the world, like Canada, where you already had your Thanksgiving, or somewhere else where you don't have it, well, just have a good week. And
yeah, we're thankful that you are listening.
I'm thankful that I have a car and that I even have the prospect of a sham rib monopoly.
That's right.
Live in a world where that's even something I can dream about.
That's true. You're living the dream.
If they only went back to the old shakes.
Maybe you could have. Hey, if we get Shamrock and McRib at the same time with Monopoly, then I think they would just by default go back to the old mix.
They'd find the mix.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creecy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody.
Sham Rib Monopoly.
It's the ultimate. We've all talked about it. We've all thought about it.
It's never gonna happen.
Benson says he saw one somewhere. I think he's making that up.
It's one of those things of legend.
Well, because you know how some places there's no set thing when they have the McRib, and sometimes they do it different times.
It does happen at different times.
So I think I think it's happened, and I think we missed it.
It's possible.
Because I think Benson did say it happened somewhere.
I bet you could find Google image search and find someone with a Shamrock right now.
Do it.
Shamrock Shake McRib.
I just want to see what pops up. It was on Raising Hope.
Raising Hope. That's funny.
Because it would buy her a few months.
Right. That's funny.
That's the thing. We're not the first people that came up with that.
Definitely not.
But it was from Raising Hope
too. So, but it's been so long. This is still funny.
Oh, see, there's people with them. It has happened.
Oh, there it is.
Look at that.
Yep.
The sham rib. That's it. That's a sham rib right there.
Yeah.
Except it's the new one. See?
It's not the old one.
But it's definitely happened.
Yeah, but it's infrequent. What's the latest McRib sighting here?
I don't know.
McRib locator.
Now I gotta go to McRib locator.
Oh, what if they're going around?
I feel like there hasn't been McRib in a while.
Oh, hey, Josh. We were just about to shut down here.
We're shutting down.
We're just finding out about where McRibs are.
I'm able to turn my collection. Okay. I'm just going to put the state.
Why do you need to put your street in?
I did complete the form.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, what? Ontario has it?
One in Ontario. There you go. Look at that.
It is true. McRibs only show up in 4 places.
Well, apparently they're low in Ontario right now.
You got to go to Ontario. Laguna Hills. That's 47 miles away.
Yeah, but Ontario's not bad. We go to Ontario, get the all-you-can-eat Montgomery.
How long ago was this sighting, though?
I don't know. How updated is that? September or November 15th?
This is Mill Valley.
Sighting. Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not sure if we can trust McRib Locator or not.
I don't know. When is the McRib time? There's another. That's 2015.
Oh.
There's a McRib. That's the same thing.
The blog.
McRib News.
Well, this is scintillating.
It's the same thing.
Oh, well. That's okay.
What about on the McDonald's page? Oh, it's just a big tease. It's like, look at this thing you can't have.
I bet you wish you could have this right now.
It's not happening.
Well, I don't really need a McRib right now anyway. But man, it's nice to know that people are tracking him somewhere. Oh, that's from Raising Hope.
That's the still from Raising Hope.
Oh.
And then people are like, I expect to come here and find out where it's never happened. All right. Well, hello, Josh. Goodbye, Josh.
Nice seeing you.
And, yeah.